Okay, video's recording, audio's recording. Here it is. Sit back and enjoy. This is Core in 3, 2, 1.
Nothing, once touched by the hand of chaos, remains untainted.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Core. That's right, this is Core. Oh my gosh, Bo, what happened? What was that? That freaked me out.
This is just Jackie having a reaction to Core starting.
Oh, okay. Oh, Jackie from the Cyberpunk, Jackie.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him. Oh, yes. I don't like that at all. Actually, I miss Jackie. I do like it.
Weirdly made me want to play Cyberpunk again.
Yeah, I've kind of had the itch lately. When's that DLC out? That's
This year. It's sometime this year. You'll just wait. Phantom Liberty will be out.
I don't
It's gonna
want
be
to
good.
wait. I want to play that game again.
yeah.
That's
I kinda
another
wanna
game.
play
I
it.
keep forgetting. People are like, "Oh, what about this? What about that?" And I'm like, "Listen, my dance card is full this year.
That's right.
I don't need any of these directs or drops.
Yeah.
There's so many good games in 2023 that already."
Oh, well, I got good
Scheduled.
news for you because we're doing one of those direct/drops coverage today. We're going to talk all about a
Talk
major
about
one that
a
happened.
lot of games. Get
Yeah.
ready for hot takes.
Yeah, get ready for all the hot takes. Before we do that, though, I just want to, I don't know, it's a good time to let people know that maybe don't know what's happening. But over on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/frogpants, or you can, or no, youtube.com/Scott Johnson. I always forget what it is over there. But if you want, just go to frogpants.tv. And now there is a new little show, usually 5 to 8 minutes. Although we had a 12-minute from Bo, which is nothing wrong with that. It was fine. Nothing wrong with length. It's girth you really want.
I tried to keep it. It's funny because I called it a minute too, and it's just Core Daily, not Core Minute. But I tried to keep it to a minute and went to 12.
It's fine. I thought it was great. People really responded well to your
Yeah, it was a great response. You should go watch all of our Core Dailies. You should sub to Scott's YouTube channel if you haven't, and then watch all the Core Dailies, then get into all the shows.
Yeah, frogpants.tv. And Core Daily happens Monday through Friday, every day. One went up today. One will go up tomorrow. And we're going to alternate here and there when it's possible. Bo, like we said, Bo came in and did one that was a really good sort of argument beyond what he'd already said on the show about why Hardcore WoW is so cool.
Well, importantly, what inspired the idea was a whole bunch of people messaged me saying, I've never played WoW before. And I'm excited to play Hardcore WoW because of you. And I wanted to really asterisk that with, you should play World of Warcraft first and see if it's for you. And also, it's a 20-year-old game. It's, in some ways, it's booty butt cheeks, aka, don't let my hype necessarily force you to do something that's going to be painful.
Can I use that? I want to use booty butt cheeks for other things. I love that.
Yeah, no, I don't own the trademark on that.
Okay.
My booty butt cheeks are all yours.
All right. I will grab them with glee, hold them tight, slap them once or twice, and use booty butt cheeks in my future. But anyway, it was really good. And if you want just a quick daily dose video form of that, great. Even if you just want the audio, it has its own audio feed as well. So you can go check that out at frogpants.com/core and just sub to it and get the audio version. But anyway, it's up there, happening all the time. Just a little expanding on Core here for your enjoyment. I hope you guys enjoy it. So do go play with that and check it out. And let us know what you think. All right, let's do our big topic of the day. PlayStation did a showcase, and they did it yesterday. And I saw chunks of it while I was trying to do the Daily Tech News show. But it was happening in the corner of my eye over here. And I kept going, yeah, this is the one where we're going to get a bunch of new IPs, stuff we've never heard of before. This is Sony's moment to shine. We're that far in the generation. Let's go. We got this. And instead, it was kind of mid. It wasn't the most amazing presentation. There are some cool games coming down the pipe. Some of them are coming to everything, but there are a few in here that are unique to the PS5. And a lot of this is worth talking about. But before we get to the games, we should at least just quickly get this out of the way. Today's daily was all about this, so we don't have to spend a ton of time on it. But Project Q, turns out the rumor was true. Sony is making a small to medium size remote play portable gaming device that is only used when your PlayStation 5 is on and you are playing games remotely via Wi-Fi or whatever your connection might be, although we don't know about like out of the house stuff yet. They haven't said. But you'll be able to play, like get in bed and play God of War with your PS5 humming downstairs, doing its thing, and you'll be upstairs playing your remote game. They did not give us a price. They gave us no exact date, although they did say later this year. So I'm guessing November, probably. And has an 8-inch screen. The controller, it looks like someone literally took a DualSense controller and like stretched it out to the edges of an 8-inch screen, and just plunked a tablet in the middle of it. It's a little bit weird design in my opinion, but some people really like it. Anyway, we don't have a price. My guess is they're going to want to charge $150 to $250 for this. And I think all of those prices are too expensive. I think if this is $100 or less, they have a winner on their hands. If it's more than that, I think this is kind of going to be a dud, in my opinion. Because this is not a true handheld. I mean, it's a handheld, but this isn't a thing you can load other games on. And without hacking it, you won't even be able to stream things like Game Pass or GeForce Now or something else. So there's a lot of stuff hovering around that. John, I know this interests you almost not at all, but I'm curious if you have I don't know, a prediction about how this will go, or if you think my personal opinion is price point is everything with this, and it will determine whether it sinks or swims.
I'll tell you my hot take. Here's my hot take on this.
Go.
I was amazed you made the core daily today about it, because to me, this is the equivalent of like them going, we've got a new monitor that plugs onto the back of your PlayStation 1 and flips up, and you can play a monitor on your PS1 on the go. Like, who cares? Like, it's for somebody, and it will be for somebody. I'm sure there's going to be people out there that are like, you know what? I want to play. If honestly, here's the truth. If I wasn't playing, if I wasn't feeling the need to stream Final Fantasy 16, this solves a lot of problems for how I'm going to play Final Fantasy 16, because I don't want to go sit over in a different chair. I just want to go play it where I want to play it.
Yeah.
And I would love to have a device like this. So I can see a use for it. But to me, it's just another peripheral. Like in the sea of peripherals, it's a peripheral. It's so basic in what it does and its function, at least as far as what we know right now, that to me it's akin to them just being like, hey, here's another controller.
Yeah,
like
but
here's
you
another
have a
expensive controller.
You have a Steam Deck, right, John?
I do. This is a completely different thing from that, though.
That's like the Taco Bell thing I was talking about. You've already had your Taco Bell, so the second helping of Taco Bell is less appealing.
Oh yeah.
But that's the thing, is like, I don't even think that this is comparable. Like, this is just a peripheral. Like, if this seems like it plugs into your life as something you can use, then use it. It's not a new gaming handhold. It's not a sequel to the Vita or the PSP or anything like that. It is a monitor with with two controller bits on the side, and lets you play games not on the TV from your PlayStation 5.
It's a Sony Wii U.
You either know you need this or don't. And it kind of doesn't even matter how much it costs, because it's either something that fits into what you want or it doesn't.
Yeah.
And like, that's it.
But it's a Wii U. It's a Wii U technically, like technology wise. I don't mean like they're copying it, but I'm saying that's how the Wii U worked. It was a remote tablet that Wi-Fi connected into. There may have been something proprietary there, but it connected into the Wii U console itself. This is just that. It's a remote tablet connected to that, and you can play your games anywhere you want. I think price is important, because if all it does is remote play for your PlayStation, what's it called? PlayStation Remote? No, PlayStation, whatever it is. Whatever their thing is, over-the-air thing is. If all it does is that, and it only does it on local networks or however you're going to do it, this needs to be cheap. If it's not cheap, then I don't know why they're even bothering, because it just seems ridiculous to me to do it, because it is basically that, and that's all it is. If you have a Steam Deck or have some other, even a phone with a backbone or something else, you already have a really good remote play PlayStation device. On my Steam Deck, I can do this exact thing they're bringing to this. I can do it on my Steam Deck, which is already multifunction and has its own array of games, and I can play retro, and I can do all this other stuff on it. So yeah, if you're somebody who owns that, I don't know why you'd buy this. But if you are a pure PlayStation owner and you've got nothing else, and this is all you've got, and you're looking for ways to move around the house and play your games more, this is probably for them, for those people. So, Bo, are you those people? You're probably not those people.
No.
Yeah.
No. I don't have a Switch, or I have a Switch. I don't. I don't know. I just don't. I mean, I think there's times where might use a Steam Deck. I don't know. My life's pretty busy. I mean, I work for most of the day. When I come home and it's time for gaming, it's on the battle station.
Yeah.
If I'm away from the battle station, I'm like deliberately trying not to play games because that's how things are set up, right?
Right.
I don't have that kind of downtime, I guess.
Yeah.
I do, I still play Marvel Snap though. Like it's not 100% of a thing. When I went to Toronto, I did actually play a bit of the Steam World card game.
Oh, how was that?
You played it.
Which one? Oh, the Gilgamesh one.
Card
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, the Hand of Gil. And it was all right. I enjoyed it.
That's
It's good. Like I can see the benefit of having it if that's the kind of thing you want. I think the real deal breaker is having to run the PlayStation. Like John said, it's just a peripheral. Like it would be more exciting if stuff ran natively on it, because then your flexibility is what people sort of expect. Like from my phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't stream things to my phone. I play them. They're run natively on the device.
Right.
So I'm guessing it's just if you've got young ones, or you are in a situation where you'd rather not play on your TV.
Yeah.
There you go.
There it is. So
like if somebody wants to watch TV and you just want to play games on the couch and you're cuddling, maybe you could play your PlayStation games. I can see it getting some use for some people.
Yeah. Again, that was one of the selling points of the Wii U.
Uses. I just think that this is a case of like, honestly, it kind of feels like a case of apples to oranges. Like, it came out, it's an apple, and now everybody's like saying, well, how does it compare to this orange? Like, it's a peripheral. Like, it's an extended screen for your PlayStation.
No,
and
there's
nothing.
There's nothing hype. There's no hype associated with it. But it's better that they have more products and options than have less. I mean, I think it's
sure.
If they can make it, why not? Great move.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason they're not in the handheld market generally. It's because they didn't get the numbers they wanted out of it. So maybe this is a better half step for them. This is a way for them to just extend the PS5 brand.
Maybe they'll test it out. Like maybe internally, they're like going to make this product, see how many units they sell. If they think they've done really well with it, then maybe a Vita's on the way.
Yeah, yeah. I have my doubts, but we'll see what happens. They didn't give us any other information, so there's very little to know. They did announce some new earbuds that I didn't know those were coming, and those might be more useful to me than anything else if they're just good, some good earbuds in general, and they work well with devices.
Think about I'm gonna just say, I got a little punch drunk because I did the show notes for this event, and I was watching the event and adding stuff that they talked about as we went. And you all know how I feel about VR, and we got through the VR section, and then we got to the hardware section, and I was getting a little punchy because I was getting a little tired.
Yeah.
And what I wrote about the earbuds and this handheld was Sony pretends to be Apple by announcing shit that already exists. And that's a snarky hot take from somebody that was tired by the time we got to that part of the show. But here's what I will say. Every single time I have had to plug in headphones into a controller, I stop and think about, like, shouldn't there be like a better option for this, for me to hear headphones for my console video games? And this is a really like genuine solution, the ability to plug in some earbuds and have that work for your controller, for your TV. It's actually cool. So as jaded as my comment is in the show notes, I actually see better use case for earbuds, where it's like, oh, you know what? That actually does make sense as a product.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Those look kind of neat. Again, no price, so I don't know if they're in,
Sony stuff does tend to run a little high.
Yeah.
I must have missed that. They're earbuds?
Yeah, they're earbuds. They're like little, in-ear, curvy looking. They're like, they're like AirPods or freaking, what's Samsung's? I forget what those are called. Those are pretty cool. Google has them. Everyone's making those now. So
on my PS4, I did buy headphones to plug in to the controller.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just another version of that, like official from PlayStation.
Well, these will Bluetooth directly to the console, though. They're not connected to the controller.
It won't go through the controller.
No, they're wireless. Yeah. So, and they could be used for anything: your phone, your, whatever else you want to do.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, so that's why I say I think that has a more universal appeal than this extended screen thing. But
Yeah, well, Sony just makes hardware, so yeah, why would it be tied? Why would something like that? It's good that something like that's not tied to PlayStation.
yeah, that would annoy me. Yeah, if they made those
Yeah.
proprietary, this would be a no go for me at all. But at this point, I'm at least looking at it. I'm curious about them. Let's get into the games themselves. There was a lot of stuff that is either already out on other platforms or is coming out on other platforms, or stuff we already knew about from Sony, and not a lot of new stuff, I'm afraid. There are a couple things though. Fair Game,
Yeah,
or Fair Games, for example. Go ahead.
I'll just say this going in real quick. Like, it's fair to say, like, if your interest is in other consoles, like, yes, a lot of this stuff is going to be multi-platform. But rather than try and look at this as a pretend list of PlayStation exclusives, let's take a look at it as what it is: a list of video games that got shown. And we're not going to, just to get it out there, talk about every single one of these games. It's a weird expectation that sometimes comes down when we cover one of these. They're like, there were games that were talked about that you didn't talk about.
Yep.
I don't know if you've ever heard the show before. We've never done that, and we're not going to be doing it today. So, that we have picked a few that we have something to say about, and we're going to talk about those. But rather than try and get into the console warfare business of it, I think we should talk about it like a list of video games.
Yeah, it's a list of video games. And the reason I want to talk about Fair Games is because I just wanted to put this out there. I thought this was them relaunching with all the new updates and the big overhaul on combat and all of that. I honestly thought that this was a Saints Row trailer. There's a lot of purple being used. There's a lot of even the smoke screen bomb this girl uses is purple. Their jackets have purple in them. Their backpacks are purple. I was like, oh, okay. I guess they're really going all out on this sort of almost relaunch of a game that launched so poorly. That's not what it is at all. It's some whole other thing.
It's Squid Game, like it's like a Squid Game shooter. It looks like.
No, that's foam. That's
what we're gonna talk about. It. We'll get to the.
Yeah, we'll get to the
that
foam one.
I got a lot to say about that one.
Foam Stars.
I don't know what this one is.
Yeah, this is called Fair Games. It's basically a heist game, and you're sticking it to the man, and you're robbing banks, and it looked a lot like they were trying to make another one of another Saints Row to me. But anyway,
like cosmetics.
Yeah, lots of cosmetics is my guess. Also, that one is
it's not bolded, but both of their starting trailers were me thinking a different game was going to get talked about. So I thought it was going to be a Watch Dogs game.
Oh, really?
Because it was all very like hacking and stick it to the man and all of that. So I was like, oh, is this going to be a new Watch Dogs game? And then it was this Fair Games thing, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then number 2, I thought was going to be a trailer for right now they have that oh, what is it? We got Bo to buy it. Why can't I think of the movie?
Starship Troopers?
Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Starship Troopers because it started with that, like, fighting bugs and enlist today and all of that. And I was like, oh, it's a trailer for Starship Troopers. That's great. And then it ended up being Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
Which, I'm going to be honest, isn't bolded because I didn't really have anything I wanted to say about it other than I thought it was going to be Starship Troopers.
Yeah. And this Helldivers is a Sony exclusive, so it's worth mentioning in that
is
way.
It?
Yeah, it's a Sony studio. I don't know if they're going to put it other places. Maybe they will.
I know the first one's on Steam, but
yeah,
it's possible they exclusivized the second one. I didn't.
Yeah, the one says it's a Sony studio, so it's only an assumption that they're not going to put it somewhere else. But I was wrong about some of these. Like we'll get to Marathon later, but Marathon from Bungie, which is now a Sony company, is coming to everything. So shooters with money involved, live service games, those are going everywhere because Sony wants money. Why wouldn't you?
Bungie's now owned by PlayStation, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that game's going multi-platform.
Yeah.
But Helldivers looked fine, I guess. But again, it wasn't that big of a deal. I
didn't play the first one, which is why I didn't really care about.
Well, the first one was top-down
but
isometric, and it's pretty dated. So I was a little disappointed to see it's like Gears of War style, like over-the-shoulder military shooter. It doesn't mean it's going to be bad, but yeah, the first one's top-down isometric,
right? And this was definitely not that.
I mean, I mean, it's fine. I wasn't really looking forward to the game, so it's not like I'm truly disappointed. But I was like, Okay.
Ghost Runner 2. I played Ghost Runner 1, so this is exciting to me. This is also a multi-platform game, though, not just Sony. It is. It looks cool. I mean, that was one of my favorite not cyberpunk games that came out in the last couple of years. Really enjoyed it. Had amazing traversal, really cool first-person stuff. I'm happy to hear there's a sequel. I think this was a weird event to announce that sequel, but
it was gifted to me, the original Ghost Runner, and it is a rare case, and this is a reminder that I need to do it, where someone gifted me a game and I have yet to play it.
I don't feel bad. I have like 5 or 10 now like that, so it's
Yeah,
not.
but I
meant as
don't
an
get
insult,
a
it's
lot of
just-
gifts. I get like 1 or 2 a year. It's not hard for me to play them. So
I mean, but we got more than that. You got like Dead Space and
I just
Jedi
I do want to
Survivor.
get to it though, because I think the concept behind it, like a kind of a puzzle game, like, right, Scott, you played it. It's kind of almost like a puzzle game happening in first person and kind of like almost Twitch based, like shooter puzzle game, right?
Yeah, that's
It's like
fair.
I gotta attack this and do this and fire this. Like, I love the concept. I don't know if the first one had vehicles or not, but it seems like that's a big addition to this one.
Yeah.
Is the motorcycle they seem to really be focusing on.
Yeah, it looks like it. It also, I assume from the trailer that it'll have this amazing soundtrack like the first one did. First one's soundtrack is incredible. So good. Yeah, Ghost Runner 2 could be very cool. So one to watch.
It's gonna make me play Ghost Runner 1. I need to make it.
You need to get in there. Get that done.
Maybe I should just install it. Right
There's also, nobody has heard from the Journey people in a long time, feels like. And they're working on a game called Sword of the Sea. And when they first started showing this trailer, I immediately went, oh, this looks like Journey. And sure enough, it's the Journey people. And they're making another game.
It looks like a blend. So it's from people who worked on Journey and Abzu, which is the underwater game.
Yep.
And this looks like they took all the games they made and went. They said these are our 3 ideas for video games, and they made those games. And then someone said, "All right, you got an idea for a 4th video game?" And they went, "No,
no."
So what if we just took the other 3 and combined them into one?
Yeah.
I think it looks really cool. The art is beautiful, but I mean, when you see dolphins floating around this landscape that looks very Journey-esque, you're like, did they just take their interests and hit combine? Like, what happened here?
Yeah, it's a real mashup of those games. I think this looks really cool.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it looks
Absolutely
gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'll play this game. This looks awesome. Sword of the Sea coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series things, and PC as well. They're all getting it. Let's see. Another one that jumped out was, okay, here's the one. Foam Stars, Bo. This is the one you were thinking of. The foam squid game.
Yeah, they're all mixed up in my head, a lot of these games, because I'm like,
yeah,
they're all these like PvP shooters that weren't very hype. Like, they weren't hype at all. Like, when you watched it, I wasn't like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah, so most of these that I bolded because I'm excited about them and I have something nice I want to say. Foam Stars is bolded because I simply want to say that I think this might be the worst looking video game I have ever seen.
All right, now I gotta find it. What minute
my
is it at?
life?
I think I found it.
It kicks in pretty quick. It's basically I mean, let's be honest. This is a ripoff.
It's a Splatoon ripoff.
It's a Splatoon ripoff. I mean, that's what it is. It's all about coverings. This is a Square Enix joint, by the way. We should mention that. So John's favorite developer making a game he's stoked about.
I do love Square Enix, but my God, does this look like? I thought we do a show the day after.
Yeah.
Here it comes. I'll have time to get in and meme on this game. The internet was far faster. This game, I saw the #1 tweet with regards to this game that was trending today on Twitter was a fake announcement that they're already shutting down the servers for this video game. And honestly, I think the reason that tweet gained so much traction is because we all know in our heart of hearts this is true. This game looks atrocious.
Did they announce any PvE content for the game?
No. It's all multiplayer as far as I know.
I would just not.
I
expect
would be
it to
curious
happen
to see if they actually delivered on it though.
Yeah. I mean, what if they did? What if it was a cool? Who am I kidding? This looks bad. I don't want to play this.
Looks.
I mean, it might be fun, but it's
absolutely awful.
It is clearly like, hey, that that Splatoon game's popular. Why don't we have one of those?
Yeah, 100%. This is a Splatoon. This is the most egregious looking Splatoon ripoff. Like they didn't even buy. It's like, oh, hey, how much of the map can I cover in my pink foam so that I can win this game?
But if you like, what kind of genre is this? Like jizz shooter?
Yeah, that's it. It's a jizz shooter.
If you're a fan of the jizz shooter genre, you might be happy to have a new jizz shooter to play.
Like, I'm not gonna yuck anyone's yum. I'm sure there are people that are genuinely excited about this. I'm telling you, don't get invested in it, and sure as shit, don't give them any money because you're not gonna see a return on this. This game is doomed to fail. This game looks like absolute garbage. Even their like high-res cinematic didn't look great, and then the game somehow was way worse than the cinematic.
Yeah.
It was like the cinematic started and I was like, the hell is this? Like, I genuinely thought, well, it's Square Enix. Here's where their NFT plans come to fruition. Like, I thought it was going to be some bullshit. And then the gameplay actually looked worse than that.
Yeah.
I get that the idea of like a Splatoon, but now it's adding verticality because the foam stacks. It's not just paint. You're not just painting the landscape. It's an idea. But I told you all about Overwatch 2, and here's where I'm going to plant my flag again. And look, I'm going to look real dumb if in 6 months we're here like, hey, everybody, Core's rebranding to a fucking Foam Stars podcast.
No, nobody cares
on.
about Foam Stars. You're fine. You're fine.
But
nobody cares.
This game is not going anywhere. It's not good. It looks terrible. It looks like trash. I cannot believe how bad this game looks.
I think
the shovelware is just looking real good in 2023. That I will say.
Yeah, it's shovelly. I'll give you that. I don't think it looks
the
quite
shovelware looks good. Like it's.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
In 1999, shovelware looked like freaking shovelware, right? I mean, like nowadays it's like.
Yeah.
I guess hard to tell. It looks like Redfall now.
Yeah, that's true. It actually looks better. I don't think it looks as bad as John says, but I don't think that in a world littered with live service games, this isn't going to be a contender.
It's potentially amazing. I mean, you always have to leave a little light, I think, John, for... When do you think you did? I think
I'll eat crow. If I need to eat crow, I'll eat it.
I'm leaving a little light because you never know. Sometimes you judge a book by its cover and it turns out it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's always possible. But
yeah,
it looks like shovelware to me.
It looks pretty bad.
I would rather play Cat Quest Pirates of the Caribbean than that.
Oh my lord.
Which is not bolded.
I forgot.
Doesn't Cat Quest look amazing?
Dude, Cat Quest 1 and 2 are cool. No, you're thinking of the other cat game.
Are they?
Yeah. No, they're good. They're little Diablo likes. They're fun.
Is that what they are?
Yeah. Yeah, they're fun little hack and slash games that have cats in them.
Here's the problem.
Yeah,
you gotta release the trigger. Release the trigger. This is John's in the war. He's like,
a cat in a game.
I'd be like, John, stop shooting. The enemies are dead. Like,
you put a cat in a game right now.
Yeah,
and I just assume you're just trying to cater.
Well, of course you are.
You're like, we're just gonna get that cat money.
A little bit. I think that's fair. Like Stray, the game Bo's thinking of, I think before. Stray is one of those games that was highly regarded, but there's still no doubt that putting a cat in there is a very specific effort to get the cat money.
You can't really judge. They put cat boys in your game so that you'll like it.
That's
right. They did.
That's right.
Yeah, there's lots of cats
in your game. I love it.
Well, I associate Final Fantasy 11 with 14.
Yeah, he owns it. It's fine.
It's my island.
Yoshi D, they call you Yoshi D. So let me ask you this: this cat thing. So okay, I have played Cat Quest 1 and 2. They're both very fun top-down Diablo games that are cute. That's what they are.
Really?
They have random loot. They got all the whole thing. Yeah.
They don't look like it. They look like mobile games. That's why I assumed it was fine to make fun of. But you're telling me it's legit.
They're legit. They're okay. They're on mobile too, I should mention. But they're also on.
Shit.
They're on Steam, and they're games. They're regular games.
Final Fantasy 14's on mobile as well, isn't it?
No. Yes. Wait, Final Fantasy 15? No, or 16? No, those are not mobile. Anyway,
I was thinking of Genshin Impact. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
My bad.
Those also have cats. All right, now I want to talk about one that we've already known about. This is coming to everything, but I don't care because I'm just excited about the Plucky Squire. They showed more than we've seen previously. It's this weird, sometimes in 2D, sometimes in 3D, sometimes both, looking adventure-y Zelda style thing. It looks wild to me. Even Switch owners are getting this, and it looks rad. So they showed a new trailer.
So cool.
Yeah. Every time I see it, it starts, and I'm like, all right, I don't know about this. This seems okay. I see what they're going for. And then they do the pop out of the page into the room, and the magic works on me.
Yep.
You know, it's like when animals see magic tricks and they freak out. That's what happens to me when I see this trailer and all of a sudden they pop out of the book. I'm like, whimsy, I like, and I get so excited for it. I had also seen this and I keep forgetting about it because it has a name that doesn't exactly tell you that it's that game.
The Plucky
right?
Squire,
like, called the Plucky Squire. Like, it's not the worst video game name in the world, but it certainly doesn't tell you this is the game where you're popping out of the book.
Yeah.
So I always forget it, and then I see it, and it surprises me every single time. Like, this is not the first time I've been pleasantly surprised by the Plucky Squire.
It seems like an inspired. It seems like an inspired. Oh, it's Devolver too, right?
Yeah, Devolver's doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Like,
Well,
yeah, it seems like it seems really inspired. It's just like you kind of look at it and you're like, oh, shitty 2D game, and then you're like you said, they pop out of the page.
Yeah,
you know, the art's great and everything, but you know, you're just like, well, this isn't very hype. Like, and then they pop out of the page, or they do weird art things, or there's a stairwell where boulders are rolling down, but it's like paper on the stairs. Like, it's just, I'm like, it's a collection of really weird creative art ideas, and I think it's very appealing. And actually, this is one of the standouts.
Yeah, I agree. This is one I definitely want to play. But
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen. There's some. I just found a thing that says there's frame rate. They think it's going to be locked at 30 on the Switch, which is a bummer for Switch owners. But
what, for Plucky Squire?
Yeah, but everyone else will be 60 plus. So
but if you play on the Switch, aren't you used to that?
I guess you're probably. I mean, there are games that run at 60 on the Switch. They're just not this one, I guess.
Yeah, but aren't you like pleasantly surprised in that direction? Like, you're just like, there's something about the. If you play exclusively Switch games, and you get one that's 60 frames per second, you're not going, finally a game that plays right. You're going, there's just something interesting about this game. I can't quite put my finger on it.
It's really fast for something. I don't know what to call it.
It looks different.
Yeah. Yeah, like Mario Kart 8 runs at 60, and it looks beautiful at 60. I wish more games ran like that on the Switch. That'd be nice.
I think that people will be okay.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Here's what I believe in my heart of hearts.
Yeah.
If you are gaming primarily on the Nintendo Switch, you are not a frame rate snob.
Probably not. Although, well, I don't know. A lot of frame rate snobs flipped out when they found out that Tears of the Kingdom was not past 30 or was locked at 30.
I don't think that, like,
they're probably not
think
playing
that
it.
was the. I think those were people that have other consoles. Is what I'm saying.
I think you're right.
And if you are going to be like, well, I need the Plucky Squire to run at a smooth 60 frames per second, then you will play it on one of those other consoles. I'm telling you that people that only own and game on the Switch do not care about the frame rate. And if you said, what's the frame rate, they would probably look at you and go, I like Mario.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's a fair point. Although, get those emails coming, everybody. If any of that doesn't strike you,
I'm not saying it's bad. Okay, yes, if you're listening to the Core podcast and you only game on the Switch and you're a frame rate snob, write in, because I want to talk to the unicorn that you are.
No, I think what's going to happen is people who would take umbrage with the idea that Nintendo people don't know what to call a faster frame rate. They were like, oh, I don't know why this game is so different. I just can feel it. Like, I don't think that any of them are going to take that as a compliment, but we'll see.
Yeah, you're kind of characterizing them in a certain way, maybe.
They're all dumb. How come they wouldn't complain? They're dumb.
Not dumb. They're just more excited about playing Mario games. It's fine.
Yeah.
Look, they're happy.
Yeah, I think
they're just happy. You should let them be happy. It's fine.
I think Mario Odyssey runs at 60. It's a really good game on there. It makes me want to play that. Just hearing you say the word Mario.
See, look at that.
Yeah, look what we've done.
Also, I think a lot of those games run fine on the handheld, right? The handheld's 720p. I think.
Yeah.
So that 60 frames is only on the TV.
Yeah. Well, wait. Sort of. I mean,
I find stuff runs a lot smoother in the handheld. Like even Metroid Dread, like On the TV, I'd get slowdowns that I could see. But
Oh yeah.
on the handheld,
But like Tears of the Kingdom is 30 no matter where you go. It's just locked. There's no
it's
getting
just
around
locked.
that.
Well,
Yeah.
if it's locked to 30 and it's smooth, I mean, all right, let's not get into it. We have other things to talk about. I was gonna say, I was gonna briefly just say, like, most movies are not 60 frames per second. Like, you can tolerate a bit of 30 frames in your life.
You can handle it here and there. Yeah,
You can handle
it's a consistent 32, which is important.
A lot of films aren't even 30; they're 24. Or
That's
something
right.
like that.
Damn it. I don't like any. Actually, in film, I need 24. Anything more, it makes me feel weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, we hate that. I hate that. What is it? Motion smoothing.
Motion smoothing.
Turn
Yeah,
that shit
ends
off.
up looking like the soap opera or something. I hate it. It's horrible.
Yeah. So I mean, I think if we're talking PC stuff, it's one thing. If you're playing on consoles and you're worried about frame rate, I think you're doing it wrong, anyways.
Yeah. Well, unless
You know,
I don't know. I think PS5 and Series X owners should expect performance.
like you get what
that.
you pay for. Like paying $500 for consoles, nothing, right?
Well-
Enthusiasts, to me, it's always the enthusiast PC owners spending thousands of dollars wanting to be served. There's the customers that want to be served in a particular way. I get it. It's like buying a Cadillac, but then not having a good steering wheel in it. Like it's like old 50-year-old steering wheel, and you're like, I want a good steering wheel in my Cadillac. Why? Give me a good steering wheel. People just, I feel like it's like PC centric bullshit. I think if you're spending $500 on a computer console, you are getting a bargain, and you get what you pay for. So fine. I think some stuff can just be 30, and just get over it.
Well, I don't know of any. Well, I shouldn't say that because it wasn't famously Redfall shipped at 30, but for the most part, new games on the two big consoles, those the 60's the standard and higher now, 120 for a lot of them.
Yeah, like it's nice. I'll take it, but I just don't. It's like sometimes it's reasonable to have a complaint. Sometimes it's not reasonable.
Right.
You're buying discount hardware. I know people don't think of it that way, but you're buying discount hardware that they're trying to squeeze performance out of a low price point for you at a loss.
We got a real PC master race vibe on the show today. Have you noticed that? I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying
Not me. I stood up for the Nintendo people. That's what I did. I said it was fine.
No,
Don't
Yeah,
label
I'm not-
me with
I'm
the
not-
PC Master Race. I said 30 frames per second was fine on the Nintendo Switch.
I'm not PCMR either. I'm telling people to have reasonable expectations.
Yeah.
And if PCMRs can have unreasonable.
That's true, and they always
Yeah.
will. That's part of who they are. I guess.
This is our new tactic. Everyone's going to be so confused about whether they should be angry or not, or write in or not.
Yeah,
It's great.
exactly.
They're like, well,
You're
wait a
talking
minute.
about me?
John
No,
said
wait,
he
you're
was
not.
defending the Nintendo people, but I still feel offended.
Yeah, no, it's just
I'm
we're gonna
sure.
gaslight everybody back.
Yeah,
into-
great gaslight, guys.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a good
good
one.
job.
You did a good gaslight.
I
Good
like
job.
it. Speaking of gaslighting, Sony made it seem like Teardown was a game that only they'd get, but I just wanted to at least mention that I'm very happy that people with PlayStations can now play Teardown. Teardown's an amazing game. It's been on PC only for a long time now. You are in for a treat. Teardown's great. So congratulations that you're getting that. But never mind. I was going to say a thing. I'm not now. Let's move on to Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. It's really they called it Delta. So Metal Gear
Yeah, it's
Snake
Metal
Eater
Gear Solid Delta.
Delta, which is a little weird.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
They're trying. So this whole trailer, I'm just going to tell you my impression. They're trying really hard to be Hideo Kojima and failing super hard.
You know what, Bo? You just asked why is it called Metal Gear Solid Delta, and I almost responded with because they're pretending to be Kojima.
Yeah, I mean
that's
I
what
heard the
I
song.
almost
They
told
stole
you.
a song from an unfinished James Bond video game, I think, for the
No,
song.
that is Kojima. That
Oh,
is
is it
100%. Yes, that is in the original
That's in
game.
the original game, yeah.
There is literally a part
Okay.
in the original game where Snake climbs up a ladder that is longer than any ladder in the history of mankind has ever constructed. And while he climbs the ladder, it plays the most James Bond Snake Eater song you've heard. It is amazing. It is
Okay.
incredible. And one of the many top-notch moments in that.
All right, I didn't mean to offend all the solids out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of solids, a lot of snakes. You got to watch out for
That's
those
a
guys.
liquid take, Bo. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
That's a
liquid
liquid
snake.
take.
Yeah, liquid
I'm
take for liquid
today,
snake.
Sorry, guys.
But yeah, they're remaking it, and it looks like it will probably be like a proper ass remake, in the vein of what we've seen recently from Dead Space and Resident Evil 4, and prior to that, 3, 2, and 1. Or no, they didn't do 1, but 2, in the modern sense anyway. And I also heard somewhere this Delta thing was a Kojima thing, but it was like before that game was released on PS2, he wanted to call it that and give it the symbol.
Maybe? I don't know.
I can't remember
But
the deal.
I don't know why it's called Delta. I don't know. I will continue to call it Metal Gear Solid 3.
Well, I'm excited for it because this is a game I barely touched back in the day and always meant to. I loved 2. I loved the original MGS. I loved, was it 3 on the PS3 or 4, I guess? Yeah, 4. Love that. And 5 is also amazing for all of its own reasons. Like, I'm excited about this game coming there.
So the remasters, then, are you gonna? It was very brief what they showed. I don't know if it's just a collection in one price point, or if they were remastering them.
Well, they're remaking Snake Eater, but
it feels like it's two different products. So Metal Gear Solid Delta is going to be a remake of some sort, whether or not it is,
I assume like Resident Evil 4 or Final Fantasy 7.
Exactly.
I would think it would be in that vein, but I don't know if we know that yet.
Well, they've said said lovingly remade is their words. I don't know what else they could mean with that.
I would assume then Resident Evil territory with that.
Yeah.
But the others, so they also announced the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, which is coming out to multiple platforms, and I believe those are going to be ports.
Right. Those are ports, maybe up-resed, widescreen, all that, but ports.
Yeah.
But the main game is also coming everywhere, I believe. I don't think that's the Snake Eater thing is not an exclusive to Sony either. But that may be where I play it. But
I don't know. I'll say this, like, again, I don't want to make this, and I've tried. I don't know if you all would agree that Scott has tried. I don't want to necessarily make this about who's coming out where. Yeah. But one thing I will say is that I appreciate how clear on some of the Microsoft press conferences they are with console exclusive or Xbox exclusive, or as annoying as it can be to hear that over and over again whenever a game comes out where it's like console exclusive and then they play a trailer. At least I know. I didn't know. And then at the end of this, Microsoft tweeted out what could maybe be seen as a bit of a passive-aggressive tweet, which was, looking forward to these great games coming out on other consoles. And it was all the games that were announced on this show that are also going to be on theirs.
Yep.
And I was surprised by a lot of them because I didn't know, because I don't think Sony did a very good job. They definitely wanted you to think these were all exclusives.
Yeah, they didn't say anything about... They rarely said anything about only on PlayStation. Like the PSVR, even in that case, there were a couple of those that were not exclusive. And they just were not... They just don't denote them. And I found the reference here. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater remake is getting a full remake on PS5 and Xbox. So Xbox as well as PC are all getting this remake. So it felt like an opportunity.
I knew the collection was coming to everything.
Right.
Because that had actually kind of leaked a little bit ago that a bunch of Metal Gear Solid games might be coming to Steam. So
what do you think of this Towers of Agabusha or whatever the hell it is?
I have no idea how to say the name. And it started and I was like, I was kind of in that like jaded space of like, okay, another explore the world, build it up, whatever. And by the end of the trailer, honestly, it won me over. And I was like, this is really kind of cool looking and very neat.
Yeah, I think the stylistically, I was riveted by this one. This is one where I actually started getting excited in the event. I was like, oh, okay. This looks kind of cool.
It gave me the impression of somebody that were like, we need like another Ico Shadow of the Colossus type game.
Yeah, I could see that.
So it's like you're actually, at one point you're platforming on flying jellyfish or something like that. So
yeah, there's some building aspect stuff, survival aspects. He's also got a floaty thing like Link. What do you call it?
Yeah,
whatever
like
it's called.
Leaf.
Wind glider.
Wind glider.
The leaf.
But the world looks crazy lush and weird and alien, and I don't know. I'm into that. That looked pretty neat.
Yeah. It was very easy at the start to be like, okay, it's one of these, which is kind of what I thought. And then the more and more I saw of it, like the the big contrast between when it's being beautiful and lush to underwater to up in the air and all of that, like it's just gorgeous. And it absolutely, I went from like kind of like been there, done that to like holy shit, this game actually looks really incredible.
Do we know if it's an exclusive?
Don't know. Did they say? It says it's coming 2024. They don't say. Yeah, they don't say. Again, my guess is that means yes, it is coming to other things, because if it's not, they would definitely say, because Sony wants you to know about these
Wants you
exclusives.
to have a reason to, yeah.
Right?
Well, they may, okay.
So they did the Salvation trailer for Final Fantasy 16. I think that's a no-brainer. We're all excited about this game. This looks awesome, and this is exclusive, at least for now. So, I mean,
I defer to John for.
You can add Towers of a Gabasa to your wish list on Steam right now.
Okay.
So,
there you go.
Definitely coming out other places. Sorry, I missed the Final Fantasy talk.
I'm just saying.
Find out an answer to that.
No, it's good. I'm glad you did. Final Fantasy 16, though, definitely a PlayStation exclusive, console-wise, anyway, until there's a PC version.
To start, for at least a period of time.
Yeah.
This game looks so good. I can't even put into words how good this game looks. A lot of people and companies had previews. They got to play hours of it. And have had pretty glowing things to say about the game. And obviously, I really like the team behind it, because it is a lot of Final Fantasy 14 people working on it. And I couldn't be more excited for this video.
Do they have those little tiny little irritating characters? The race of what are they called? The bebops?
Lalafels?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it.
They'll definitely have Mogs or Muggles.
They'll probably be Moogles.
Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't seen any yet.
Chocobos.
Moogles and Chocobos.
Yeah,
and
Chocobos.
All of that.
Chocobos I can deal with.
Probably going to have all your stuff.
Is combat party based, or are you just a dude?
You control one dude directly. I do believe you get a party, but you are only ever in control of your one dude.
Like 7 remake? Like that's kind of where my head goes.
I think even more one dude focused than 7.
Because 7 you can jump around.
I don't think you can even give commands to anybody except your dog, and even the dog you can equip an item to automate the dog too.
Oh wow! Really? Wow.
Yeah. Automatic dog.
Sure looks nice. Man,
it looks, and it sounds so good. The music's awesome.
Oh, and like all the definitely a lot of English accents in this one too.
Yeah.
Or like worse, or not worse, but stronger.
Stronger there. That's a better word for it.
Scottish, yeah.
Some bad looking dragons. That's fine. Whatever. We expect that.
I didn't see a single dragon, but if I did, I bet it would look badass. And more importantly, would probably have interesting lore and a compelling story behind it.
Well, that'll give you. Yeah, there's a dragon. They just showed one, I think. Or a
Where?
demon. I think they did.
I didn't see a single dragon.
I did
I mean, it's kind of ambiguous. Like, there's dudes with like giant creatures with wings, teeth, and glowing eyes that are dragon adjacent.
Dragon-like.
Technically not dragons.
But yeah, that is a bona fide hope you have a PlayStation kind of deal, everybody, because that looks rad.
There's your reason to get that game. I think it's probably going to be pretty sick.
Yep. Alan,
getting it. I'm stealing the PlayStation 5 from my wife. I had to steal it from my parents.
Yeah.
And then my wife took it from me to play Fortnite on.
How does that work?
Well,
don't you live in the same domicile?
Well, yeah, but she's on it, and if I'm on it, it will be a problem.
Yeah, it can't both be.
Now I'm gonna have to tell her that there's going to be a window of time where I am going to be on it.
Is it going to be like a case where you take the controller and put it in your pants and wipe your butt in it and be like, "This is my controller"?
That's basically what I'm gonna have to do.
Oh man,
she very much likes the PS5.
Yeah,
she does not want to give it up.
If you do that controller down the pants thing or the remote down the pants thing, you'll have to let us know on the show how it went.
Yeah. I mean, it probably would go okay.
It'd probably be all right. She's into it. It turns out she's into it. All right,
be fine.
Here's another non-exclusive but still exciting. The Alan Wake 2 trailer happened during this thing, and I think this looks pretty good. It looks scary. Oh, actually, I'm showing the Xbox trailer for it. That's funny. Anyway, it is Alan Wake, the long-awaited follow-up to Alan Wake 1, and now we got Alan Wake 2, and you're a girl trying to find out what happened to Alan Wake. I think is the best I can.
His last name is Wake, right?
Yeah, his last
Yeah.
name's Wake.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not a verb.
No. Alan Wake, something.
Wake
someone up,
man. Come
Yeah.
on.
Alan Wakes. It looks nice. It's not much else to say other than a lot of people love Alan Wake, so this is a big deal for a lot of people.
Well, and it's supposed to be in the same universe as what's the one that we played?
Control.
That we like?
Control.
Control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alan Wake is supposed to be in that whole universe, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's compelling. I really liked a lot of things about Alan Wake. I did think that the execution of it. I've complained about this before. Making collectibles out of the pages, I think, was a mistake because I thought the pages actually lended to the horror really well.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would tease what was going to happen. You'd find a page and it would be like, he walked down the hill not knowing what was lurking in the shadows at the bottom. And you'd be like, shit, I got to go down this hill. There's something lurking in the bottom. The page just told me. And like that adds a lot of really good tension to the game. But then you would have to like go off the beaten path and explore to find these pages. And it would actually just get annoying because you'd be getting attacked the whole time you were looking for them. I feel like
the
that
pages
stuff
were
should have just
like,
been
he wanted to go
mainlined.
down the hill, but there was a platform that looked like that was scalable,
Right.
and he wanted to
But
go up and
there was
see
a
it.
thermos up on a
There
hill,
was-
and you needed to spend 10 minutes walking around it trying to figure out how to
Oh.
get up to it.
Remedy and their collectibles, they love doing that.
Yeah.
They love it. It looks neat though. I think the I think the big kicker for me will be how annoying is your flashlight battery scarcity. I hated that in the first game. Drove me crazy. I think I was just bad at it mainly because I think it is possible to do it without losing all your batteries. But that flashlight, which was important for combat, was always dead for me. And I was always out of batteries.
Well, weren't they sponsored by like Energizer or Duracell?
Were they?
Too? Like, wasn't it branded batteries in the first Alan Wake? Chat room, tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was actually branded batteries in the first game, which is kind of silly because yes, batteries got used up like nothing, and usually battery companies hinge on the "we last forever" is what they want you to believe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which brand of battery it was, but you got to keep picking them up so they can keep showing you their advertisement. Get them Duracells or whatever it is.
I don't know if you knew this, but speaking of Metal Gear, and the reason I'm doing this is for reasons. I need to share this with you. Okay, here you go.
Okay.
Back in the
Metal Gear.
day, Ford and Metal Gear got together, MGS, and they made some ads for Ford. You need to hear this with the actual actors and stuff. All right, so I'm going to play it for you. Listen to this.
Colonel, long time no see.
Snake, today's briefing is of the utmost importance.
What is it, Colonel?
I'll be telling you all about the Ford Focus SE.
A Ford?
Yes, Snake, you should know the Ford Focus SE comes with a standard rear view camera. Plus, it has an EPA estimated 36 highway miles per gallon.
Oh my god!
EPA estimated 36 highway miles per gallon? That's remarkable.
Yes, Snake, the Focus SE is the perfect vehicle for driving around Shadow Moses Island.
Colonel, let me stop you. I'm gonna Fulton extract myself a Ford Focus SE right now.
But Snake, that technology hasn't been used since 1984.
Anyway, it goes on like that.
I'm
Wow.
gonna say this. They've got the scripting down.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, it's real. By the way,
I'm gonna tell you something, and then Snake is gonna repeat a large chunk of it, but with a question mark at the end.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
they really nail it
They
for
do.
sure.
They do. And there's a couple of these. There's a whole other commercial they had with who Psycho Mantis, that character,
Yeah.
doing some other weird shit. It's a very weird thing that exists, and people should seek it out.
That is incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome.
amazing.
I forgot to mention. I was going to show it to you earlier, and I totally forgot.
Ford.
Let's see. Assassin's Creed, More Sand Again. Nope, Mirage is the real name, but More Sand Again. It sure looked like a lot of sand, which John loves. He loves the sand. I know you're stoked about more sand. You like the sand settings, the desert,
I
the
think
heat.
the game looks good, except for it's in a desert again.
I
But
mean,
you've had enough time away from the desert, right?
No,
there's
I live in
Valhalla
one,
and-
Bo. I haven't been away from the
No,
desert a
but for
single
your
day.
for your AC needs, like we've been Pirate Land, we've been in, Viking Land, we've been in
yeah.
what was Odyssey. I guess there's some deserts in Odyssey. Maybe it hasn't been that long.
Odyssey had some sand, but it was really sandy in Origins. This looks like a return to lots of sand because it's, in the Middle East. It's very,
It actually looks pretty crisp.
Bo is right. It has been a while, but I'll just tell you, I would be okay with never going back to it. And so
he has a sand problem.
any sudden sand, look, I'm like Anakin Skywalker. I don't like sand. You
Yeah.
put sand in a video game, and I'm a little sad.
Yeah,
About it.
you're kind of out. I think this looks really nice. It's the setting I'm interested in. Look at these mosques and stuff. So cool. I'm going to play this.
Where does it take place again?
This is
In
the Middle East. I
Iran?
don't know what parts of Middle East, but I think Iraq is a big part of it. And it's, I don't know what century it is, but it's way back. And,
I believe it stars a character that was in Valhalla.
oh, right. Not Bayek.
Basim.
Something like that. You do some quests with him, not quests, but some missions, or
But
around him.
it seems like a return to. I mean, it seems like the selling point of this is, hey, remember what Assassin's Creed used to be? We're doing that again.
Yeah, more assassins, but still some Creed, but a lot more assassins. Yeah, and I like the assassination.
Can you
Like,
take me higher? I'm still gonna play.
It's got some really crisp, attack animations and stuff like that. Like it looks. I think what they're just trying to showcase here is the smoothness of the game. I mean, whether that makes it to the retail, I don't know, but
yeah,
it looks. I watched it and I was like, oh, this is. I don't know. There's been a ton of Assassin's Creed games, and I'm a little ambivalent to it. But I watched this and go like, oh yeah, I like to see it. This is
yeah. We had a 2-year break, so it's been a while. It's been enough time, I think. I can't believe they showed this. Dragon's Dogma 2 is actually a game that's happening. Didn't play
It
the
looks
first one.
super cool. I've had
Yeah.
so many people tell me to play Dragon's Dogma.
same. I
and
bought it.
I
It's
haven't
on
done
Steam.
it yet.
It's on Steam, and I bought it on sale. I still haven't cracked it open. It's not just games that I get gifted. It's also games I buy myself. I don't play either.
Mhm. Yeah.
And this is one of them because I heard a lot of interesting things just about like sort of the openness, I guess, of the game, John. If that
Yeah.
Especially at the time, like this wasn't that long ago, but I want to say Dragon's Dogma 1
yeah,
is what, like
I think it's a little
2010?
ahead of its time, the
Yeah.
first one, and I think there was a lot of there's a fandom for the game, and I was excited to see. I mean, I think I knew a second one was coming; it had been rumored already, but looks interesting. I think this might be one that I'm sure. Hopefully, it won't just be PS exclusive, and I can give it a try. But it gives me Kingdoms of Amalur vibes, like a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that.
Action RPG that isn't top down. It's
Yeah.
over the shoulder, and I think it's more in the From Software vein of games, in that there's a lot of abilities and a lot of like combinations of things you can do, and I think has maybe like a freelancer element where you can buy wares and trade them at other places, like just really open world, but leaning more on the role playing side of things, the action adventure. Like all the spells look wicked. I don't know, it looks cool. I wonder if it'll
Yeah.
have multiplayer features or not. But
Yeah, I don't know.
oh yeah, and the staring lady. I like the staring lady. I was like, that
She's pretty
staring
good.
lady looked scary.
100% coming to everything though. This one, so not exclusive.
Oh yeah, it's
I'm-
coming everything perfect. Yeah, I think this.
Steam, Xbox, all of it.
I think I gotta play Dragon's Dogma because this looks like the kind of game that if I try to play 2 first, I will not be going back. So
Mm.
I feel like
One of the
I
things
need
I
to-
heard though, or I don't know if I'm quite right on this, is like the control schemes. Like there's some jank to the game,
Mhm.
so
yeah,
hopefully
it's,
they
it's
sort that
from
stuff
that
out.
era.
Yeah.
It's older.
Like hopefully they sort that stuff out in the new one, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So
There is a PSVR version, or PSVR 2 version of Resident Evil 4.
I'm gonna say something shocking here.
Go.
This is the closest I've ever been to wanting a VR headset.
Oh, see?
This looked
Wait,
genuinely awesome.
Yeah.
This looked genuinely super cool. Like I was like, yeah, okay, it's Resident Evil 4 in VR. Ooh. And
Yeah.
then he did that thing where he catches the weapon with his left hand on the knife and shoots with the gun in his right hand.
Yeah.
And I went, well, that's flipping cool.
Yeah.
And it was
does
the
look
closest
cool.
I've ever been to being like, oh, maybe VR has something to it.
Yeah. It did. I will admit, it got me as well. This moment when he gets to the village.
Yeah, right now they're just like, oh, isn't it moody and scary? But
Yeah.
like once it gets to the combat, like that was a super cool move. The catch the weapon on the knife, shoot with the other hand.
Yeah,
It's
it does look cool. Like almost Half-Life Alex level of finesse in there. Maybe. It's hard to say. It's a trailer, right? But there's a lot of stuff that gives me hope about this. It's funny though. This is a game you played even just recently. What, 5 times over plus the original times you played it?
Yeah, I played through it a lot.
You're like, sweet, bring it on. I don't know if this is coming to other stuff. It says PSVR 2, but not exclusive. So maybe the PC version is going to get the mode. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, could be. They may make it exclusive. I don't know. They did for PSVR 1.
I
For a
mean, it
long
says
time.
in development for PlayStation 2 VR, but again, who knows? Like, they're really cagey with their dialogue on how they presented it as to whether or not you could get it other places.
Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, the RE4 VR is available in the original version.
Yeah, the jank version. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't
The
know.
jank version.
Well, I
And
mean,
they did it.
You know,
And Iron Man did eventually come out to Oculus. I don't know, man.
even
Depends what kind of. It depends on Quest 3 and how Oculus sort of fares. I don't think it's doing that badly.
Yeah, you got a Quest 3 announcement later this year. Apple next week is supposed to announce their thing finally. That could be a big deal.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
going
'cause,
on.
like,
Bunch of stuff coming up for
I
headsets.
keep monitoring that. It's like Apple. Oh no, they won't do it. Oh no, now they're gonna do it. Oh no, they won't do it. You know, there's a lot of rumors flying about Apple.
The rumor is this is it. This is the time. According to Mark Gurman, who always is right about these things. Who knows?
Well,
Who
I'm
knows?
looking forward to talking about it. It's just I don't think anyone's gonna buy the Apple one. Except
Really?
for really rich tech enthusiasts.
Well, I mean,
It's
if
gonna be
it's
expensive, right? Like,
maybe, I don't know.
good
Might
Lord.
be. I think that that's kind of an old stereotype that everything they make is overpriced or too expensive. I don't think that's always true. And I mean, they may surprise us here. And maybe
I
not.
was at a Best Buy
I
and
bought
I'm like,
$100 stand for a monitor once.
Well, those are for they have that stuff, no question. But their high-end phones are the same price as a Samsung high-end phone. They're
the speculation is in the $2,000 to $3,000 range.
yeah,
Yeah, but wasn't
that'll
that
be too
just
much.
Samsung upping their prices to match Apple? That wasn't Apple competitively pricing down.
I don't know. I don't know enough about Samsung to say. I just know that like what I'm using for production stuff now, I use a Mac for that, and it costs me less than any PC I've ever bought, and I'm doing more stuff with it than I ever have.
That's good to know.
So there's
That's
ways to do it.
interesting.
I'm not saying it's always that way with them, and I'm not, Apple absolutely charges they get their money. There's no question about it. But I guess what I'm saying is that I don't think they can come out with a $2,000 headset and expect to do
Right,
well with
yeah.
that. That's a bad idea. So I think what my guess is right now, 500. That's my guess.
Wow,
Yeah.
that would be an exciting price for an Apple product.
It would be.
I think people would just buy it because it has Apple on it and it's less than 1,000.
Yeah, 500 is pretty. I don't know. I mean, it's an absolute guess, but we'll see next week.
Well, you never know. You never know. That's
Let's talk about Marathon. I played the hell out of this back in the day, 1994. Get a Mountain Dew, sit down, play Marathon all night.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Bungie, aka
Speaking of Apple, actually,
yeah.
ironically.
yeah, funny enough. Back in the day, this was a Mac game primarily. It was on PC as well later, but it was an incredible game. But those games had like full on story modes and stuff. This appears to
This
be
seems like it's a competitive shooter.
yeah, it's a competitive
That's it.
shooter that looks, and the style here is off the charts. I think it looks
it's
incredible.
a lot of detail for a competitive shooter.
Yeah.
Just in terms of like all showing the nano worms or something. That seems like it has a story attached to it.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that they're going to give us. I know that this is a Sony-owned property now because they own Bungie, but it's coming to PC and to Xbox, which tells me it's a live service game that is meant to
Probably
make
good
money.
if you're doing a competitive shooter.
Yeah, probably these days, right?
I mean, I didn't know anything about this game, so I don't know the legacy. We have associations with certain words. So I didn't realize it was a franchise or anything. No idea this existed previously.
Yeah.
I gotta say, a game called Marathon didn't really hit very. Doesn't and it is I was like, Really? Marathon?
Well, if you don't know anything about Marathon, it'll do nothing for you to hear that name because that name means zero to any.
Like as soon as you see Bungie is making Marathon, if you know that history, like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. It's like them doing that. What was that Myth game? Was it called Myth? Do you remember that game they made? Oh, it was like top-down fantasy.
I remember the.
Oh, shit.
Wait, I might be mixing it up with something else.
I
Was
can't think
Bungie involved with Oni? Rockstar did that, right?
Rockstar did Oni.
But it wasn't Rockstar and Bungie.
I don't think so, as far as I
I
know.
was thinking, I thought there was some weird like third person.
Games have weird bedfellows, so it's entirely possible that happened.
Anyway, Bungie makes good shooters. Like as much as I like to joke, and it is in the notes that we didn't talk about it, that Destiny 2 is getting more content. They apparently have made Nathan Fillion money again.
Yeah.
So they have resurrected Cade 6.
Yeah.
So Nathan Fillion back in the game. But much as I joke about Destiny and it not really being my thing, the one thing that I feel like Destiny absolutely nails is the shooting. Bungie makes really good shooters, and so I'm curious about this. If no matter what, I'm curious about it because the way Bungie makes shooters is solid.
They sure are obsessed.
Also, Chad is saying that Oni was Bungie. Wow.
Was?
Why is that locked in my brain?
I
don't
thought
know.
Oni was not them. Hold on. Bungie?
For some reason, it's also flagging Rockstar, but I'm gonna
Uh,
say game because I just
yeah,
looked up,
Rockstar Canada.
Japanese demons.
There's Rockstar Canada. What are they talking about? Hold on. Yeah, Take-Two Interactive, Gathering of Developers, and Rockstar Games. This does not have Bungie connected to it at all.
No, it is. Oni is a third-person action video game developed by Bungie West.
Oh,
a
Bungie
division
West.
of Bungie.
Published by Take-Two.
Yeah.
Oh, the PlayStation 2 port was developed concurrently by Rockstar Canada. That's what the deal was.
Oh, so you're all right.
We're all right. We're all correct.
We're all right. Everybody's right. Turns out I couldn't decide between Bungie and Rockstar because it was both of them.
Yep. As everybody was involved in Oni.
Well, you would have seen their name associated with them, at some point.
I don't remember if I even played Oni.
I think I played it. I don't think I liked it very much.
I don't think anyone really liked it. What was reception? Average reviews, it says.
I liked this purple hair Wolverine looking girl.
Yeah, she
She's
got the
all right.
Wolverine lifts on the sides. You're right about that.
Yeah.
What was I going to say about that? Oh, Marathon.
Judging by this Google image search, I'm not the only one that thought she was okay.
Do you notice that Marathon really likes Bungie really likes mysterious space orbs? Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Although I think they kind of got themselves with that because I think the space orb thing was a Marathon thing, and then they were like, "Hey, what if we brought that back for Destiny?"
Yeah.
And now they went back to Marathon. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's an important part of it." So I guess we're bringing back another space orb.
There's a bunch of people at Blizzard who were saying on Twitter that they're not in video games had it not been for Marathon. Like they were like, I wouldn't even be in this business.
Yeah, that's what I found surprising. I saw some of those tweets too, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is my initial impression was just, a game called Marathon. Like we've seen this before. Remember Brink?
Yeah.
It looks like Brink.
It is a little brinky. Yeah.
Yeah, that still may remain true. I know they've got a dedicated player base in Destiny fans, so there might be enough cross appeal, and their legacy with Halo. But like, this did not hype me, and I didn't understand. I was like, why are people hyped about it? And it's like, oh, it was a game before, So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So this may in fact be a real winner. I don't.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It looks really cool. And John's right. They're really good at shooters. Do I want another multiplayer only live service shooter? I don't know. I don't know if I do. You're gonna have to really prove it. So
Again, that's why I say it reminds me of Brink, because Brink did the whole, we have crazy pastel colors and we're a shooter, and I'm like,
Brink had
I think
promise.
that's where pedigree is important because you're right. If anybody else was making this game, we probably wouldn't really be talking about it. It wouldn't be bolded.
It wouldn't be
But
a big deal. Yeah.
Turns out Bungie makes really good shooters. So if you're going to enter a convoluted, busy market where everybody is getting in and a lot of games are failing, being one of the best creators of first-person shooters probably gives you a leg up.
Yeah. Same thing goes for our next and final game that we have bolded. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 looks real good. I think the symbiote tech looked really amazing in the gameplay they showed. Of course, it'll be good.
Was a long trailer.
It was long. Yeah, mostly gameplay though, which is good. Some of the
It was good. I thought it looked pretty exciting.
Yeah. How do we feel about what's the villain's name?
Craven.
Craven. How do we feel
Craven
about
the
Craven?
Hunter.
Yeah.
I love Craven. Craven, one of the few villains that has actually defeated Spider-Man successfully. In one of the better Spider-Man stories ever told, called Craven's Last Hunt, in which he successfully defeats Peter Parker, buries him, dons the outfit himself, and then, feeling that his life no longer serves any purpose, ends his own life.
Oh man.
At the end of the story, and
He also looks like
it is a dark, but it is a very good story about the nature of achieving one's goals. And Craven can be a very interesting.
Oh shit! I don't think I want to achieve anything anymore.
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah,
Bo.
be careful with your goals. He looks like 2006 Metzen. Craven does. You notice that?
He doesn't look like him, but definitely there's Smithson vibes there for sure.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's in the games as well as people are yelling. Okay, they're kidding, but I was like,
Yeah, we don't know.
I don't know
These
how
are
this
just
game's
comic
gonna
things.
end.
Yeah.
But you got symbiote Spider-Man, which I'm really excited about, which means we're getting edgy Peter Parker, which is always fun when you've got the nerd trying to be bad.
Yeah.
We have already seen a teaser that had Venom. I don't know that we know that is Eddie Brock Venom, or if, the mouth and all of that is going to form on Peter, just like as he loses more and more of his humanity to this thing. But really happy to see that they're doing switching between Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Continues to support that. I think the Spider-Man universe is stronger for having multiple Spider-Men and women in it.
Agreed.
Like, I actually think that friendship, that partnership is really cool to have. And I think that they bring so much different skills and energy to those characters is great. So
Is the
I couldn't be more stoked for
Is
this.
Spider-Gwen in these games yet?
I don't know.
There's been no Spider-Gwen as of yet.
She's not in the Miles Morales one? I couldn't remember if that was a thing.
No,
I haven't played that yet. I own it, and I still haven't played it. Yeah, this is
I haven't beaten it, but I have played Miles Morales.
My only
Very good.
complaint about this game at all is that they showed a ton of it, and it's a this is going to make Sony a lot of money. This is going to be a huge hit for them. But they didn't say a peep about that Wolverine game they announced like 2.5 years ago. I want to know what that game is. I want to play Wolverine.
Yeah, you're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Isn't it Insomniac
I mean,
working on
It's
that too?
Insomniac on that too. Yeah, both of them. So that's. I mean, I don't. They're clearly not far enough along to say anything, but I was hoping we'd know more by now. But this is money printing, so they'll do fine with this. This will be big for them, and I will play this game. I should probably play Miles Morales before then. Would be the
You
goal.
should. It's good. You know what? It's a lot like this.
Yeah, lots of this stuff going on.
Turns out it's very similar.
It's a winning template they got going there with the Spider-Mans. And that's what happened at Sony. It's like I say, it was some good stuff in there, but I don't know, it just felt a little not Sony. It didn't feel like enough, like, here's a big new IP you've never heard of that will now change the world and we'll have 10 sequels for. I'm always waiting for that for them.
Yeah, I still feel like games on average look pretty good, so there's less novelty associated with seeing some of this stuff. Yeah. And I think we have a lot of stuff we're interested in, so it's just hard to cut through and register on the high hype meter. Like when you say it's kind of mid, I think it's like
it's just the standard.
I agree with you, but also maybe if I wasn't into other things, I would feel stronger about some of the stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm trying to reframe how I look at these, because so much is multi-platform or coming out various places. I don't look at it as, oh, this is the Sony event. I look at it as, here's an event being put on by Sony. The showcasing a bunch of games, and take it for what it is, and I'll find out what platforms they're on when they come out. Because again, while I don't think Sony did a very good job, Microsoft tends to do a better job. It's just like, just put the games out. I'll figure out where they are and I'll decide where I want to play it, and I'll judge the games for what they are rather than try and. I think maybe this changes a little bit when they're trying to sell me a new console. This far into the console generation, I just treat it as a game showcase. And as a result, I think there were some pretty cool things in there.
Yeah. I should probably not expect like mind blowing anymore. We're past that, right? Or at least
And
we're
when they
not.
start saying buy a PlayStation 6, then yes, I want to know why I'm buying a PlayStation 6.
Right.
As opposed to something else. Then it matters.
Yeah, then it matters.
But right now,
a lot of that
we already know why.
A lot of that smoke and mirrors then anyway, Sometimes they show you stuff that never comes to fruition, or it doesn't look as good as they promised, or there's all those issues. But I don't know. We're at the top of the curve where everything can produce something amazing, and they're doing it currently. And so the giant leaps I just don't think those exist anymore. The sizable leaps that we used to get, like going from the GameCube generation to the 360 PS3 generation was massive. It was a massive jump. But those jumps have gotten, they get smaller as we crest out. So it's fine with me.
Until one day, and just imagine this, because it's happened before, so you can't say that it would never happen. But one day you wake up and you go onto the internet.
Yeah.
And the internet is abuzz. And you watch a video from Valve showcasing new technology that's going into Half-Life 3. And video games are forever changed from that moment on.
I mean, yeah, possible. But it feels like it's going to be, how do I put this? It's no longer the veneer anymore, though, that will impress us. It will be something within the veneer. Like, it'll be like, oh, on the outside, it's a beautiful, great game. Just, modern graphics. It's what we expect. But look what we've done with this tech that makes the gameplay, right?
Yeah, that's what it was. Like Half-Life 2, I spent, how long was that? You know what I'm talking about, that video where they showcase the power of Half-Life 2, where I'm sitting there like riveted because they're like, look, we're going to shoot a piece of wood. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, look how the wood breaks. And I'm like, calling my friends. I'm like, guys, watch this video. You won't believe how the wood breaks.
Yeah.
The wood breaks.
Yeah.
Guys,
but now
barrels fall.
All of that is, every game has that now. So now what do you do next? Like, what is 3? What is the 3 tech demo?
That's the thing. We didn't know that was what we were missing before. And whatever the 3 is what we don't know that we're missing now.
Yeah, that's true. That's a fair point. I don't expect to be as blown away by whatever 3 is, though.
I expect it. So Valve, you better be working your asses off, because if it's not mind blowing, don't do it.
Did you see the fish I sent you in the Discord? That's a
fish?
Star Wars fish. It's a Star Wars fish.
Oh, is it Star Wars?
Or Star
fish?
Trek. Sorry, Star Trek fish. What am I saying? Spider-Man fish. Why did I say Star Wars, Star Trek, and then Spider-Man? What the frick is wrong with my brain?
The 3
today?
S's.
I had too much. Is there something in this Fresca I should know about? Bo, does this have urea? What was it? Urea is in there?
Yeah.
Well,
P.
yeah.
Raw P. That's what I heard on the internet.
feel like
Apparently it's fine. It's not pee. It's not pee.
It's not pee. It's artificial pee.
Not
It's
pee.
synthetic pee.
But I mean, maybe someone would put some pepper,
Could have.
some crystal meth in there.
Might have.
I don't know.
My wife's been trying to kill me for years. Maybe it's finally the time.
Maybe-
All right,
maybe
let's.
some, asbestos.
Yeah, yeah, we don't have enough of that anymore. So she's got a whole secret stash, and we're all good. All right, check this out. We have a patron question. It's a pretty short one. Full Grown Man asked. That's his name.
It's a great name.
I love his name. The Mortal Kombat 1 announcement trailer contains depictions of graphic violence reaching heights I have never seen. Do you think that this was really necessary? Or are they looking to tap into that some of that concerned consumer outrage that bolstered their marketing in the 90s? I would say to this person, Full Grown Man, you have missed the last 3 or 4 Mortal Kombats then, because what we saw in that trailer wasn't any more brutal or violent than the last game's fatalities. I don't think.
I will say that it is a step above, but maybe not such a degree that I'm surprised.
It's a baby step, though. Like,
it's a baby step. I don't think it's a big step, but I will say this: like, I am at a point where I feel I'm appropriately desensitized to Mortal Kombat violence.
Yeah.
And the trailer actually made me go, oh, at least once. So
I know the trailer was violent, but to me it seemed pretty.
There's worse in
normal.
11.
Like, I don't know how you measure gore, right? Like, is there a gore index or a gorodex? Like, how do you measure the goracity of something? And it's like, because like I've played 10, I've played 11, I watched the trailers. I mean, like artistically, I can definitely see a little fidelity improvement. I think there's some.
to me, there was a sound improvement. I think sound is where they maybe escalated.
Is that a Bohemian Rhapsody death?
Yeah, totally. Look at this.
Oh yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's yes,
they're
you're
disgusting.
showing 11.
Yeah, these are
I mean,
11
it would-
kills. They're disgusting. They're
If
gross.
You are
no offense, I
absolutely
mean-
getting demonetized here, Scott.
No, this is on YouTube.
Full
I'll
grown
be
man.
fine.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you've played 11, it's probably you probably haven't played it in a little while. Oh, did he rip out his ball sack?
Those are eyes.
Oh, that was 2 gonads. But yeah, look at that, right? I mean, like, it seems on par, but like the fidelity, because it's a cinematic, is like
Right. The
increased.
fidelity's a little higher, and I think the sound was really good. It was really good wet
Yeah.
sounds.
Yeah. The audio in that trailer is something else. But I would. We're looking at a montage of 11 now. If you-
Yeah, look at that.
Scott, you are destroying some people that are trying to watch at home right now.
Possibly.
No, we're Mortal Kombat fans here. We've said repeatedly, at least me, I have, that we like gore. I mean, it's
Yeah. I don't.
Listen, Mortal-
To me, it's
Mortal
just
Kombat's
it's
an
just what MK
institution.
does. Like
It
MK
gave him the MacGruber neck rip.
Yeah, he did. But it's always been disgusting, especially in the modern games. I don't think the new one's going to be all that worse. It's already pretty brutal. So
Yeah, I
mean-
guess to answer the question, if they were trying to tap into consumer outrage, I don't think they succeeded, because I heard no outrage about it.
right.
Now, maybe
Yeah.
that's my circles. I don't go hang out with, people that typically get outraged about graphic depictions of gore in video games. So I don't know, but I didn't
wonder-
see any big buzz about like, oh, this one is too over the top. In fact, I did see a clip that was shared on my Twitter feed. I think Tyler shared it, so maybe you guys saw it too, where for an NBA game, they showed an edited version of the trailer where Shaq performed a fatality on Charles Barkley, I think it was, and then they just put graphics over all the gore of like donuts and stuff.
See, what
And
I think-
so they literally were showing it on mainstream TV.
Yeah. There is an element of cartoonishness to it, although I'm sure the more prudish, or sensitive to that would not like to see it in places like that.
Well, Tezzeret
But-
Dynamite says it well in the chat. It says, at some point, the violence goes beyond realistic into ludicrous territory, and that's actually less gross than realistic violence. I mean, I think that is what MK is aiming for. It's like impossible, disgusting kills. Like, they're not possible what they do, but they gross you out as much as they can, because now it's just so ridiculous. Like, it's just
Yeah.
ridiculous, right?
There's a natural escalation. You always picture Mortal Kombat to be over the top. And for it to not be over the top would actually it wouldn't feel Mortal Kombat at that point.
Yeah.
I think you could probably get lulled if you didn't know what Mortal Kombat was somehow. You think it's a lovely game trailer for a survival game or something like that, or
Oh, Mortal
if you
Kombat
just-
1, that's the one where you plant seeds. In the
Yeah.
He
ground.
didn't clue
Yeah.
in. Like, obviously, you can tell when you see Katana and Milena, right? Like right away, like or Liu Kang. Like if you've played the game, you're just like, I know what I'm looking at. You can see someone maybe going like, oh, what a lovely game with some Asian themes and beautiful music, and then all of a sudden it's violence, right? Like,
Yeah. Like
but-
really rowdy, horrible, dismembering
Like,
violence.
I can see some people reacting that way, and I think that's probably intentional, right? Like, I think they made this deliberately to be nice and serene and beautiful because it's Liu Kang's new rebooted universe now that he's the god of whatever it is, lightning and
Lightning and
hats.
thunder, or
He's
whatever it
the
is.
new
Hats and
Thunder
lightning,
God, or
something like
a
that.
Fire and thunder.
Cats.
And
Yeah.
or
Did you
I don't
guys
know what
see
they
the
call it.
list
There's a
of
name.
the DLC?
Yeah, I saw
characters that
Homelander
leaked?
in that list. I didn't see anything else.
Homelander's gonna be in it.
Yeah.
And Omni Man.
and Omni-Man.
Oh, who's
which
on?
is
Wait.
going to be interesting because those are two very Superman-like characters.
Mhm.
So I am curious how they're going to differentiate
From
the two
Invincible.
of them.
Oh, Invincible
Invincible,
Omni-Man.
Scott?
Yeah, Invincible's dad.
I have the tabletop like large format freaking book versions of all that. I don't know why that wasn't ringing a bell.
Invincible.
So good.
And,
So that's cool. I wonder how Omni-Man will look because he's only ever been represented in that very comic book art style. How will he look in this way? Whereas Homelander's like a flesh and blood dude we've seen on TV.
I want him to look like Anthony Starr. Don't base it on comic book Homelander. Go out, get Anthony Starr's permission. If it doesn't look like him, I will.
Oh, I
be
bet
sad.
they do. I bet they do. But that's what I'm saying.
If you can't get permission, it needs to be very Anthony Starr adjacent.
Yeah.
Maybe Anthony Starr with one R.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be close.
Yeah.
Speaking of this is kind of a bit of a stretch, and I had something more to say on Mortal Kombat. But did you see the Star Trek Discovery trailer today?
Discovery or Strange New Worlds?
Strange New Worlds. Sorry, Strange New Worlds. Season
Yes,
2.
they've crossed over in the
that's got
cartoon,
the
right?
Lower deck crossover.
lower deck
Yeah,
people.
because the boys to
Yeah,
Right.
because what's his
That's
name?
Danny Quaid.
Yeah, his uncle, his uncle Randy, notwithstanding, young Quaid doing real well for himself. But yeah, I knew he was the voice in the cartoon, but I didn't know this crossover was going to be the voice actors crossing over. I
Yeah,
had
it
no
was
idea.
kind of wild. I love it.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
that's
Like,
cool.
That's really neat.
Awesome. I love they're doing that.
Anyways, yeah, but the one thing I wanted to say is we'd probably be shocked at the conversations of appropriateness that happen about these death things, because like there's certain ways to dismember and kill people that probably actually have a bad history, and when they're enthusiastically on a whiteboard writing all the ways they can chop someone up, like they got to have like a historian in there or somebody who like audits that stuff to be like, no, there's like that's something the KKK would do. We can't have that kind of murder in our like, oh, that was ritual. Like there's probably some horribly jaded person who knows every death and dismemberment function in history whose job it is to like audit their crazy imaginings.
I wonder if Tyler could. I'm not saying you need to tell us, but if you wanted to tell us if that's the case, that's very curious to me. I would love.
Do you have a death and dismemberment sensitivity consultant on the team?
Because imagine if this is what MK looked like in 1991 too. You think the industry freaked out then over this crappy, freaking shitty little violence that they did in that game? Just imagine what they'd say today. Like the world's
People are sensitive to a
desensitized
lot of that stuff. I think if something did resemble historically hateful, a hateful murderization, and just I'm waiting
just
for
look
that.
at how they got with the original fatalities, like Kano just going like this to a little red pixel and it going blub, 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 blub.
Yep.
And like people were like, our kids are done.
Yeah.
Like this is it. This is
Yeah.
the end of
They can never
society
play
right
again.
here. It just happened.
Yep. So Sub-Zero pulling a spine out. That was it. That's all I could handle. That was the rough one. I remember the spine getting pulled out was the one all the news focused on and all the like Congress stuff and all that. You pulled the spine out of your opponent, they'd say.
Yeah, there was also a real sexist like slant to that as well, because it was frequently framed as like, look what they can do to women in this game.
That's true.
Even though there's only one female character, it was like, look at the violent acts they're perpetrating against women. And I remember thinking like, even then, even when I was that young to not really get what was going on fully, like being like, but it's all the characters.
Yeah,
like you can do it to all the characters. Like
right.
I even kind of knew it then that like there was some manipulation going on. I didn't fully get it, but I see it now.
But you see, it's easy to see now. But no one talks about them. You don't hear, the Congress isn't going, we need to have some hearings about the Mortal Kombat 1 trailer. Did you see the violence on? Like no one's talking about it. They don't care anymore. Partly because they all grew up with it. So,
they're fixated on other things right now. They're more worried about anime.
They're more worried about other dumb things.
More worried about anime and what it does to people's gender identity at this time than the brutal slayings, which has always been true. Sex and these kinds of things have always been much more in North America taken off TV versus violence. Like they get mad about violence, and they're like, oh, whatever.
Check this out.
That's always the result.
On an upcoming, you reminded me, Bo, on an upcoming episode of Core Daily, I'm going to use one of these stinger videos of you. Made me laugh my head off. Hold on, where is it? Yeah, this. Listen to this, you guys. Just the audio. Hold on. Here we go. Maybe.
Filthy pirates, we're here to stop you!
Yeah! We're here!
Are the scary pirates gone?
I have to share this with Scott.
I can't believe you didn't at the time. That's so really
I thought
quiet.
I did. This is from This is the Lost Ark. This is,
Yeah. But my gosh, dude. Did
thought I
all of
did.
them
Yeah,
just going,
Yeah, no, in stereo, like HD sound and the headphones.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, something else.
That one's definitely going in. Okay, let's see here. Let's move on. Oh, you know what? We haven't talked about the games we played. Let's do that.
Ooh, I love that.
Little Metroid for your life. Let's talk about what we played. Now, before I talk about games, I haven't done a full review on this yet, but I will. I picked up a little piece of hardware because they're under $60 or $65, and I wanted to try it out, and I'm really glad I did because it turns out this thing is cool. I'm trying to turn it on so I can show you the screen. Did I turn it all the way off? I might have. Well, anyway, here it comes. I bought a new Ambernick retro device, and it looks like this.
Ooh.
Like a kind of a wide Game Boy form
It
factor.
kind of looks like a Game Boy that tried to turn into a second Game Boy and got stuck.
A little bit. You're not wrong. The big deal with these is they've made other devices and I've used them before, but where this one really stands out is what was my point? Oh, it's cheap. It's like $65. It's like nothing, and it'll play GBA games, Genesis games, SNES games, PlayStation 1 games, like pretty much anything up to PS1, maybe 2. I think PSP maybe even as well. And I'm mainly reviewing it for Play Retro, but I am so pleased with this little guy.
I really like the look of it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
slick.
it's like a Game Boy Pocket.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Except with a wide screen. And it's also got
Shoulder
really good
buttons.
sound, which is crazy. Yeah, it does have shoulder buttons. It's got R1 and R2s and L1 and L2s. It's kind of weird because they're spaced from each other instead of below each other.
Horribly small.
I kind of want to get one of these, and then you're going to have to tell me how I can get my library of games I already own. To
Oh,
play
easily.
on.
Super simple. And it actually came with a bunch.
Great.
Yeah, fully legal, of course. And it's like right now I'm playing, what is this, Golden Sun's playing in the background, the GBA game. Just all instantaneous, does a million saves. You can save states, turn it off, do all the stuff you want to do. It also
Can
goes
you
out
show
to
that
TV.
like full screen again, like
Yeah.
just in the camera? I just want to see.
Let me pull it up so the chat
I
can see it,
just
too.
yeah, I just want to see because it
See?
actually
There you go.
kind of like making my heart feel things.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a
It's
feel
kinda-
good
It's
device.
Game Boy shaped.
Yep. Got a
looks
good
small and
D-pad,
light.
good buttons. It's got
What's it called?
like HDMI out. You play it on your TV if you want to. That's cool.
What's it called?
USB-C charge. The model is the Ambernick RG35XX. Ambernick RG35XX. Yeah, it's
Very
From the
memorable name.
future.
It's the future, see. I started playing a little Final Fantasy Tactics on here today just because I was in a mood. Screen's really bright, really clear, really nice. Comes with a screen protector, in fact.
Got a quad core CPU. That's
Yep.
great.
Comes with a 64 gigabyte SD card just in here. You can add others if you want.
Dope.
Headphone jack.
Shipped from China, $76.
Yeah, don't do that one. Get the Amazon one. Amazon was
okay.
cheaper. Yeah, I said, I
Really?
spent I think $65 or something for it.
And it's like pretty easy to put
Oh, this thing's so
content on
cool.
there.
Yeah, and it comes with a ton, so you may not even
You
need
can
to.
get it in transparent purple. That's what color my Game Boy was.
That's right. I didn't get
Holy
that one.
shit.
I got this. Oh, and by the way, I ordered it yesterday and it got here this morning. So it was at the local distribution. But anyway, really happy with it so far. Small little booger. Keep it in a nice little,
Oh, little booger.
like if you're just like, I don't want to take my Steam Deck's amazing for retro, but sometimes that's a big device to lug around if all I want to do is play Mario 3 or something. And this is just a perfect little form factor for that. Feels like you're playing a Game Boy. It's nice and tight.
So
and
adorable.
well
For the
made.
price point too, like for the right type of person, this is kind of a cute little gift too.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, you could do a gift for somebody. I mean, it's sturdy. It feels like industrially
I'm trying not
made.
to buy this right now. I want
Yeah,
it so
thanks,
bad,
Scott.
You're welcome. You're
I
welcome.
can't afford this, but
Yeah.
I want it.
You want this so bad. You want
I
it.
want it so bad.
I just complained I don't want it handheld. I got my phone. I'm good, and I'm like wanting this for some freaking reason.
That's because you have nostalgia for this form factor, for the Game Boy, for that that thing back then, and then
100%.
and then look how cheap it is. I mean, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's 100. You got it. You nailed it.
Yeah,
oh my
it's
God.
good. It's real good.
But it has a lot of cool things like, hey, you can plug it into your TV.
Yeah.
You can also play. This looks like Red Dead Redemption 2. They're showing in the Amazon.
Oh, are they? I don't know why they're doing that. I don't think you can
It's
do that.
1 or 2. It's a guy on a horse with a shotgun. I assume this is RDR.
Oh, weird. Might be. PS2.
I mean, it's got a quad core CPU in it. The GPU, I don't know what the GPU specs are.
Sure. It came with. I can tell you what categories it has. It's got Neo Geo.
Only 256 megs of RAM. We're not talking a lot of power.
Right. Hold on. Let me find this here. Exit game. Okay. So let me tell you the platforms I got here that are just already on here. PS1, arcade. So like MAME and all that. Neo Geo, MAME. Oh, that's MAME. GBA, NES, SNES, Genesis, Mega Drive, which is European Genesis. Game Boy Color, Game Boy Regular, PCE games, which is what, PC Engine? Yeah. Then I don't know what the NGPC is, but that might be PC Engine also. And then Game Gear, and then the Wonder Swan, whatever that was called, the Color, Wonder Swan
It
Color.
sounds like it has a way to get games. It says in the ad on Amazon, it says 5,400 nostalgic games.
Yeah, there are a lot on here.
Oh, it has some preloaded.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
They already knew what was in my library and preloaded.
Yeah,
them on
exactly.
there for my convenience.
For your
How
convenience,
nice.
since they knew you already had the cartridge for all 5,000 of those games.
They're all. That's what it's in this closet. I don't want to open it because it's so many games. They just spill out all over.
Yeah,
the
there are
floor.
909 GBA games alone on here. Just Game Boy Advance, which is my favorite handheld console of all time. MAME's games, they have 69 MAME games. Nice.
This is the worst show to listen to if you're on a budget. I swear to God. People in the chat room have bought this right now. There's some 222 Tech is like, bought it. Let's go.
Someone over at Amazon's like, it's rolling in.
It's rolling
What
in.
happened? Scott really earning his influence.
You know what I should have done?
Here's the shitty thing. Here's why I'm mad at Scott right now.
What?
He didn't
Yeah, I'm
even
a
have
little
to
mad at
work
Scott,
that
too.
hard to sell this.
No,
Yeah,
I
He
didn't.
didn't even put in that much effort. He
He's
was
like- he's
like,
right
look at
now-
this, guys, and we're like, $80. Take it. Just save
Right
the
now,
money,
he's the
please.
kid at school that came in with something cool, and we're the kids that are circling him, being like, "What'd you bring? What is that?" And we
Yeah.
all want it immediately.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
1,498 SNES games on here.
And fuck off, Scott.
That's just all. This just all came with it. But my,
Everyone's mad at you
I
now.
say that with love, with peace, with all the love in the world.
Like
Yeah.
you don't get to criticize me for making you buy a Jaina skin anymore. Like, oh no, Scott's out $5 because I made him buy Winter Jaina because I was like, hey Scott, you're gonna be playing Heroes of the Storm forever.
I don't know what it is about that thing, but that thing looks lovely.
It's
The only-
cool.
The terrible thing is that it's called Ambernick, but I'll get over.
well,
it.
that's just
It's
the
so
company. But here's the shitty thing. I should have set up an affiliate link on Amazon before I talked about it tonight. 'Cause
Yes, you should have. You just lost out on a lot of money.
Yep,
man.
I blew it. I blew it. That's all
Could have
right.
paid for itself.
That's all
Oh,
right.
no.
I'm more here for the enjoyment of others, and I hope people like it as much as I do. I really like it a lot.
Although, were you expecting this kind of reaction? Because I think normally we're lukewarm on your
Wasn't even in
lukewarm to
his
warm on
thing.
these things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
No,
knew.
because Backbone was awesome. You recommended Backbone.
Yeah,
And
Backbone's
like, I don't doubt you. You recommended VR, and eventually I got it and realized how stupid I was. Like,
Yeah.
people should be listening to Scott.
I have
He
things
knows
to
what he's
say.
talking about.
That's right. I have things to say, and sometimes they're right. But this is a no-brainer. If you are a fan of classic games, no-brainer. Okay, no-brainer at all. I'll be playing Joust on the shitter later tonight. That's how that's going to go.
All
that
right.
right there.
Movie's sticking up for you. He said Scott wasn't trying to sell it. He was just jazzed about having it.
Yeah, and also the battery
fair
life.
enough.
But then he sold it. To a
Yeah,
bunch
but then
of
I
people.
don't get anything for selling it because I didn't do an affiliate link like a dumbass. But this the battery life on this thing is incredible. I think it's supposed to give me like, I don't know, 12 hours of battery or something. And it has a charger with it. It's insane.
12 hours of battery is great, and unlike the 4 thing, you can take it and play it anywhere, not just at home or
That's
whatever,
right.
you know?
That's right. I will take this on a plane. I will take this on a train.
I would have taken that to Toronto over the
An
Switch.
automobile.
It would have been so much easier to bring too than the Switch. Like, it's just, oh
Yeah.
my God.
It makes me want to restart, although maybe I could move my save over from my Steam Deck, but it makes me kind of want to restart Metroid Prime or Fusion on here just to play it again. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that's my big hardware of the week. I'm really enjoying it, and I like it a lot.
For all the people that are now out $80. Thanks.
Yep. Thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome
for that.
The nice thing about Amazon is if you all get it and the hype bubble bursts and you're like, oh, I don't know if I really needed this in my life. It's Amazon. They'll take it back. You can do a return. I'm not gonna though because I really like it, and I think you will too.
All right, it's ordered.
I love it, dude. I love it. You're gonna have to tell me what you think when you get it. All right, let's move on to Bum Simulator.
No, let's not.
Let's
'cause
do it.
You and I both played a game this week, and
I forgot. We got to talk about that. Yeah, shit. What are we saying? Let's talk about the coolest thing I've seen in years.
Yes, we got to talk. Like, Scott, I know you want to talk about this.
I absolutely do.
Badly.
Yeah, let's talk about Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun, which came out on Steam and maybe other places. I don't know what the status is of that on consoles, but everybody needs to play the damn thing. It is.
Yeah, I got a big shout out first I got to give to Racer951Y. I remembered the Y. Apparently that was very important, but Racer951Y, thank you so much for gifting this to me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
So,
turns out it's a very good gift. I just paid raw cash for it, but it's worth every penny. I've really enjoyed it so far. Proteus is a thing that keeps coming up with a lot of people. Are like, is this play like Proteus? Yes. Well, yes and no.
Yes and no. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little
Jinx.
bit of that. I mean, obviously this has got like Doom era vibes, but I feel more Quake than anything is how I feel playing it. Feels very Quake.
It even
to me.
kind of feels like its own thing. So like one of the coolest things about this game. So I just want to throw my little bit of shade out, and it's fine. It's not important, but I just want to say that like when it comes to Warhammer,
Yeah.
in the first 10 minutes of this game, I got more out of this than what I got out of Darktide. Like what I wanted from this universe and all of this than all my time in Darktide. Like you are a big stomping around space marine with a chainsword. And at first I was like, I don't even have a gun. This game's called Bolt Gun. Am I going to even like this chainsword? But this game does a cool thing where when you do your melee attack, it lightly pauses the action for a second as like almost like a lock on.
Yeah.
And it's
like
weird
slow-mo.
to say how visceral it makes it, that there's this weird stutter when you switch from shooting to chainswording. And it makes it feel almost tactical when you're in a big heavy situation and you go from shooting to chainsword to shooting with the way it paces everything.
Yeah, I agree. Almost like it's at a beat. It's not on a beat, but it feels like a rhythm almost. At least it did to me after a while. You get into a rhythm with it that is so satisfying. And then the shooting is incredibly chunky and really like it's one of the most satisfying shooters I've played in a long time. And it's looking like this, old retro ass looking thing. But the gunplay is awesome. And I would say that's true about Proteus as well. So you're in good company if you're playing both of these games. But this has just a real sense of like, I don't even know what to call it. Like even just the basic bolt gun, which is the whole thing's named after.
Yeah.
Just an amazing sense of like, I don't even know how to describe it.
I have
like
liked
candy.
every weapon I've picked up.
Every
in this
gun
game.
is great.
It's been awesome.
Yep. And the upgrade, you get
I
the
mean-
weird secrets that unlocks a gun's ability or whatever. Those have all been good. Sorry,
This
Bo,
game
you're
is
gonna.
like sitting at overwhelmingly positive on Steam, by the way.
Yeah, deserves it.
Yeah, but you look at it, it looks cool and everything, but you're like, well, it's a boomer shooter. Seen a lot of these. Like, it's got to come down to feel on this thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all feel. Like if it didn't feel like it did, I don't think we'd care, right? Like it wouldn't be what it is. The feel of it is so. John streamed it. I streamed some as well. I think the same night even, and and I know people bought the game while just watching it because it's just got this feeling of like pop, 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 bam, bam, saw, bam, saw. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're 100% right. I'm laughing because it's ridiculous, but also like you are spot on. Like,
yeah,
I think this has been the hardest it's been for me to talk while streaming a game in a long time, because you just get in this rhythm of like, shoot at the guy, chainsaw the guy, shoot the barrel, shoot the guy, throw a grenade, like, and it all feels good and flows together really, really well. And it does a good job of changing up the enemies. Your enemies actually look cool. Like the first time a Chaos Marine showed up, I was like, oh shit, look at this guy. He looks awesome, big, chunky.
Yep.
And I can't say enough about it. Like everything this game tries to do, it does extremely well. It feels good. You feel both like this giant, heavy, stomping Marine, and yet you still have these really like floaty jumps, and it doesn't feel artificial. Like it feels like it all makes sense in execution.
it's like this game was the assignment was gameplay first, everything else will come. Just make it play amazing, and then everything else you do will be amazing with this game. And that's what they stuck to and did. And man, did they nail it. Like if gameplay matters most, if, all game developers always say gameplay first, even, I think Blizzard, that's literally in their motto. This game knows what that is. Like knows it from step one and never lets up. And I'm going to be sad when I've finished it. I can't believe it's only $20. I mean, I know why it is, but and I'm glad it's affordable, but it's such a cool game, dude. It's so good.
Yeah.
They probably did sell a lot of copies. Like,
Yeah, I think they
People
did
are
well.
asking, are there other guns? Which is fair. It's called bolt gun. You might expect that this was the only gun in the game, but yes, there
are lots of other
far
guns. Yeah.
So far, I've gotten 3 with as far as I've gotten.
I think I have 3 as well. I think I'm probably about the same as you. And they don't give them to you right away. You do get them piecemealed a bit, but it's never a bad thing. Like I'm always excited to get a new gun, but it doesn't bother me that it took a while to get the shotgun, for example.
Yeah.
Because once you finally get it, you're like, holy shit, this shotgun's like one of the best shotguns I've ever fired in a video game.
Yeah, it's so good. And then, but that's the other thing is like I've liked every gun. Like I just got the pulse rifle and I was like, yeah, this is cool, but I also really love just the first gun. I love the shotgun. I love the chainsword. Like I genuinely like shooting every gun in this game, which is really important in a shooter, that you enjoy firing the weapons because you're going to be doing it a lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's the main point of the game. It's like Doom in that sense, where it's just relentless action. There's some story and some setup, but it's not the important bit. The important bit is go, shoot, fun. Never not fun is what this game is. It's rad. Highly
and
recommend
super
it.
bloody and super over the top.
Yeah,
And,
it's everything you want. I can't believe I'm having this week. In a week where, we've had such huge disappointments like Redfall, not this week, but, lately. Apparently this Gollum game is just utter trash from what we're hearing from.
I mean, it's not really surprising. but
Yeah, not a huge surprise, but
I believe I saw an article saying it's the worst reviewed game of the year so far.
which
Oh,
says a
no.
lot compared to, because
Oh,
the same year
no.
Redfall came out. How the hell do you lose to Redfall? But the point is, in the same week, my 2 favorite things I've done are this and another Warhammer game, which I'll talk about when we get to my stuff.
Yeah, Warhammer's having a bit of a moment. By the way, big sale
Yeah,
on
lots
Steam.
of stuff on cheap.
Warhammer Skulls up to 90% off Festival of Games. I'm like, I have enough to play, and I own a lot of this. Like,
Yeah.
and I bought Bolt Gun. I haven't played it yet, so I can't comment the same way you guys can. But I'm like, what else am I buying?
Yeah. It's all good, dude. There's so much in there to get. And I'm
Yeah.
a fan of all things Warhammer. It's probably clear after listening to the show for however long people have listened, but this just was such a great surprise. I know we were excited when we saw it at the Game Awards, the trailer for it, and we're all like, oh, that looks cool, but I didn't know it was this cool. Like, it's exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, I thought it would be a fun little distraction. I didn't think I would like it as much as I do.
Yeah, it's very, very good. And, I forgot about the push move where you can just literally knock a big fat ultramarine right off the platform. It's amazing. Anyway, go check this one out. It is a must get. Warhammer 40K bolt gun. And it is very cool. I hope those devs are having a moment because I'll buy their stuff again.
I see a lot of people asking for other factions, and I feel like that would map to this style of game really well.
Oh, totally.
And I would love to see it.
Yeah, I would. I'm same. Big hard same. Hopefully they do more with it. Also, we didn't mention it, but they did show a new trailer for Space Marine during the Sony event. That's looking great as always. But I'm just so surprised how this Doom-ass looking 20-year throwback game, how much it's grabbed me. And I don't think you need to be like a 90s kid to appreciate it. I think this will work for everybody. If you like shooters, I think you're just going to love it. All right. Now we'll talk about Bum Simulator.
Yep, from that to this.
Yep, that's an important one. Bum Simulator is what you think it is, unless you're thinking it's an ass. It's not. It's basically a homeless guy, but more hobo. And by hobo, I mean like, they kind of got powers. They carry around magic items, stuff like that. It's that
Just
kind
like
of thing. They really lean into that because there's a lot of magic shit you do. But basically, you start out, you have a talking grocery cart that you communicate with, and he has googly eyes. You can see him on the video here in a second. And he tells you what to do, gives you all the tutorials and what you have to do. It's basically, the game is GTA with some survival stuff thrown in. And by GTA, I mean lots of missions, go and do a thing, come back, expand your little camp, learn how to do cooler magic abilities. Like one of the things you can do is you can throw a pigeon at your enemy and it will stab them, but you can also upgrade the pigeon to explode. Stuff like that. I played probably 3-4 hours of this and laughed a lot. Also felt rather uncomfortable a couple of times. They're not the most sensitive about issues facing the homeless among us. So there's some of that where you're just like, oh, I don't know, man. In 2023, this hits different. But then there are other stuff where it's so fantastical and stupid and over the top. You're like, well, this game's not doing anything seriously. So, like, who cares? Thanks to the dev for sending me a code. I had fun while I was in there. I don't think it's a game I'm going to like master or beat, but it was had surprising depth for what it is. And, yeah, I put a video up. You can see me stream it. There's Bush Burgers. It's got stuff.
Oh, nice. Bush Burgers.
Yeah, it's got a Bush Burger. You can punch things, and I can pee on people. That's another thing, is you have a urine ability. So
yeah, I saw you put out a compilation like on TikTok and spread it around. I was very entertained by this.
It was a good time, yeah. What's really funny is we chase somebody around peeing on them. The way they run away is really funny, like just really funny. Anyway, I had a good time with it. So this week's chore core was Bum Simulator, and I don't know if I even recommend it. It's not a bad game. It's actually kind of a really fun game. It's also a kind of ugly, but in a way that's kind of fits. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's unreal, but you'd never know it. Like, there's nothing about it where you're like, whoa, next gen graphics. It's more like, I can't believe they used Unreal for this sort of thing. Anyway.
Well, they had to use something.
They had to use something. Exactly. Anyway, Bum Simulator, available now. Halls of Torment. Remember this? This is the Diablo-like Vampire Survivor game I told you guys about for a while.
They're charging for it now.
Now they have a full version. Well, that was the prelude that they had before. So that was never going to get charged for. It's like a demo. Full game is now out, and it is called Halls of Torment, and it has all the characters that they have so far. It's in early access still, but it's a thing that you pay money for, and I want to say it's under $5. And it continues to be a really good one of these. I really like it a lot. They've just captured the feeling of like, I'm playing Diablo, but not really. Kind of hard to explain, but it's cool. It's fun. $5, no big deal. Get in, play it, try it.
Can I just, for one moment,
just
say that like StarCraft is ripped off from Warhammer 40K.
It sure is.
We all know it.
Yeah, that
was the game they wanted to make. They didn't get to make it, so that's what it became.
Right.
And you played a really awesome Warhammer game this week.
Yeah, I did.
And this game is ripping off Diablo.
Yeah.
And it's a really awesome game.
Yep.
That you also played this week.
Yep.
And like, I think you're seeing the A to B to C. Like, but what if Blizzard was actually making these.
Yeah, what if they back to your thing? You've been beating this drum for months. Blizzard.
No.
Just stop and make games. It doesn't need to be huge, giant, world changing. Make one of these in the Diablo universe. For hell,
You are the company that put out and was fine with Warcraft 3 Reforged with
Right.
Diablo Immortal. You can make Bolt Gun. You can make Halls of Torment.
Yep.
You are not above it as a
Yep.
company. You are not above making these types of games. You can do this. And it will be fine. In fact, it might actually help.
It might be amazing.
It just bums me out. It's fine. Not that you shouldn't play these games, not that you shouldn't play games in the Warhammer universe or support a dev that's, paying homage to it. There's a thing in my heart as a fan of their properties and their IP that say, like, you hear Blizzard make the statement of, well, we don't make StarCraft games because people don't play RTSs anymore. And I just go, well, then don't make an RTS.
Yeah.
Like,
make a different genre. Do something else.
like, just do something, please.
Make Bolt Gun.
Make
StarCraft.
Bolt Gun.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. You're fighting off, Zerg or whatever. Like that game would work in that world, and we would all be stoked about it.
Anyway, that's all.
I
Like,
kind
this
of
game
agree.
exists and it's cool, and you should check it out. It doesn't have to be by Blizzard, but like, I
No.
see this and I'm just like, man, there's so many cool things that could be done with some of these IPs that mean a lot to me.
Yeah, and even
It's
if
just a
Blizzard
reminder.
if Blizzard charged
Every
$10 for this experience and just had it on the store, it doesn't need to be online. It doesn't need to be a game as a service. You don't have to do any of that shit. Just put it out and make $10 a pop from a billion people who want to play it. Done. And you'll support it because you always support it. Yeah, I agree with you on this. They should totally do that. All right. Finally, the other game I played in the Warhammer universe that did not know was coming, except this Warhammer. What's it called? Bo, you mentioned it earlier. What's it called they're doing? Warhammer. What's the event?
Warhammer Skulls.
Skulls. That's it. It's a yearly event where they show off all this stuff, right? All these new games and whatever, do sales and stuff. They put up one in the trailers that I'd not heard of called Speed Freak. Freak is spelled with 2 E's, which tells me orcs are involved. Orcs with a K, right?
Yeah, this is a Mario Kart game, it looks like.
It is not. It is, because I played it today.
Oh, shit, there's a demo?
You apply to be in. I think they're letting
paid
anybody in,
access,
though.
yeah.
You should apply because they're just letting people in. So effectively, I'm playing the beta. But it's twisted effing metal in the Warhammer universe.
Oh, shit.
And it's
That is
really fun so far, you guys. I am really enjoying this. These cars are insane. It's Mad Maxy as hell. It's competitive, so there's no, at least at this stage, I don't know about any plans for story stuff or any of that. It doesn't need it. But you're basically playing. The game works like this. So the trailer makes it seem like, oh, maybe you're racing, but you're not. There's no racing. The only thing you're really racing is I have to get back to the control point as fast as I can. So in some ways, there's some control point kind of shooter vibes going on. But within those control points, the goal is to play Twisted Metal freaking Orc Edition while you're there. And then move on to the next one and then eventually get to the finish.
Okay, yeah, no, they eventually show some gameplay footage in the trailer, and yeah, it's like...
It is so cool. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind over this. This was so much fun today. I didn't want to stop. I only stopped because we had to do a show. I'm going to keep messing with it.
Some guy shot a rocket, and there's an orc sitting on the rocket while it gets shot.
Yeah, and you control that orc and that rocket like a homing missile. There's a bunch of cars in there already. Some are tanky, some are small and fast, some have grenades they just toss like one after the other. They all have different abilities. It is so cool. Just go and apply. Just say, I'm interested. You have to wish list it, and then you say, it's the whole request to whatever.
I wish listed and then requested access to the playtest. So,
I did it.
I didn't know this was happening. I didn't know it even existed. I've been itching for Twisted Metal because we just did a Play Retro retrospective on it. I'm sick of waiting for Sony to do something. Hopefully they will soon, but this is what that is, and it was so much freaking fun. Really fun. So
yeah, orcs are great.
You know what else is great? On some of the cars, like everything's cooldown based, so you don't have to worry about running out of ammo and stuff, but you have cooldowns. And one of them is you got an orc or a goblin or something on the back of one of these buggy looking cars, and he's just swaying back and forth, lots of physics going on. But his job literally is just one of your specials is to toss, like hit E or whatever button it is, and toss a grenade that has like a 7-second cooldown. But it's great because he's just like, just throws a grenade into the scrum, and then you're trying to survive and get through there. There's boosts and turbos, and it's Mad Maxy. It's orky as hell. It's just great. Super into it. So check it out. Speed Freaks.
Hopefully I get in. Yeah, I will give it a try.
And if you're searching for freaks, it's FREEKS because orcs can't spell. All right. John, let's move over to you. How does the WWE go these days? What's going on over there?
Yeah, we'll do a quick frog wrestling update. Had our matches yesterday. Things are going quite well for the core crew. Core has now, on the back of a tag team title match, Core now holds all the belts in the league. Whether that is me as the Dragon Beef champion, Scott, you and Bo triumphed over Tom Merritt and Brian Ibbett and are now our new TMS tag team champions. And Scott, so far you have not been challenged for the Frog Pants Championship title, although maybe it's time to start looking at who your next challenger will be for something like that. So it's going really well. It's a lot of fun. It remains just a fun weekly thing. Every Wednesday on my stream, people come out for it. It's, about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending. And we have a good time. We were not able to repel this invasion of actual WWE wrestlers. In fact, more are continuing to interfere in our matches. But I made a Frog Pants Stadium this week, which was really fun. So now we have our own themed stadium.
Really?
With graphics that Taz from the chat did. He put together the Frog Wrestling logo, which I have put in the game and used for the streams and videos. And for anybody who has heard this week to week and said, John, when are the VODs going up? When can I see them? I have not this week's yet. That'll go up tonight. But the past 3 weeks of Frog Wrestling are up on my YouTube, Craftless Rogue on YouTube, to check out. So it's a lot of fun and still going strong. We got Martha in there, who's the newest character that has appeared. Dear Martha herself now comes out as my manager for the moment.
Wow. All right, but she may don the wrestling shoes herself. Who knows?
Yeah,
I know a couple things brewing, so I don't want to say anything, but there's some cool
Scott
stuff
knows. Right now there are 6 people that have told me yes, I can add them, and that's just a lot of work. So it's gonna take a long time to get everybody added and put in there. But for anybody that's like, when's he gonna add new people? Currently there are 6 people that are approved and waiting and have given me the details. It just takes a while to do.
Is the stream at a specific time on Wednesdays?
It is 5 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay.
That's at twitch.tv/craftlessrogue.
Oh, we may as well mention this now. Because I've been out of town and then had 2 dental visits in a row, we weren't able to continue our RE4 playthrough. That will resume this Tuesday. So come both nights. Come for that on Tuesday night, and then come back Wednesday for wrestling. Okay? Okay.
It's a trifecta, really. Resident Evil 4 Tuesday, Wrestling Wednesday, and then Core Thursday.
Hell yeah. What? Sorry, Bo.
What's the game we're supposed to do at some point, or that we talked about? Is it Skyrim VR?
Oh, yeah. I want to watch... Yeah, but I want it to be you in Skyrim VR, and I want to be the John in that situation where I'm,
I think you're supposed to be the Scott in this situation.
Oh, am I? Am I supposed to VR in there?
Game. I thought there was a game. I forgot. There's a game.
Oh, you guys were going to do Elden Ring, where he was going to teach you how to play.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. Teach me to enjoy Elden Ring.
All right, we have to remember that when the expansion comes out. That'll probably be a good time to get into it.
Yeah, the problem is, I own that on Xbox. I don't currently own that on Steam. So streaming it would be weird, but I don't know. Maybe there's some nice.
Well, we got time. We got time to figure it out.
Nice guy in the community who I don't know. I'm not asking for anything, everybody. I'm just teasing. Besides, I already bought this cool little handheld.
Yeah, I could have got you Elden Ring, but I bought a handheld device. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm stoked, man. That thing looks so sweet.
You should be, and it will
be so tiny.
Yeah.
And I just needed, like, just when I was on that trip to Toronto, it's like the Switch was nice, but I had to bring the base, had to charge it. It was kind of cumbersome.
Mm-hmm.
That I can just slip into a pocket, like even on the convention floor, and be
yeah.
like, "All right, I'm bored. Let me just
And
play."
you're
some
never
more."
going to run out of battery on this thing. The way the battery
Yeah,
works.
it looks
It's
kind of
great.
sick. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of love it.
Oh man, now I want to play that all night. All right, moving on. John, Final Fantasy 14 had a patch. How is it?
Yeah, it had a patch, which means I get to finally talk about Final Fantasy 14 again. What a bully day and a bully time.
Yeah.
The new patch came out. It's like all patches for that game. It is just charming and wonderful, but it's been a lot of fun because we are now deep enough in this expansion where some of these storylines are coming to a conclusion. And I had this little epiphany with Final Fantasy 14 on this latest go round, which was how you know that the story has hooked you, and that you are now going to just be on board for whatever it is that they propose. And that is that this patch in particular um, started with my character being invited to a lunch. Just a bunch of characters talking, and they're like, you know what? Why don't we just go grab some lunch? And I was stoked for this. Like, I was over the moon excited. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I'm so ready. And then I sat back and I was like, a lot of other games would feel like, hey, we need to get people right in. Let's do a big action set piece. Let's do a big fight. Let's have a battle. Let's throw the dungeon right in, right out of the gate. Let's do something big and epic. Final Fantasy's like, no, we know you're in. We're going to just go have some lunch. And we're going to devote a decent amount of time to that.
Wow.
And I was all for it and all about it and had a wonderful time with it. So and here's the other thing that happened. So that was thing number one, which was I started doing the main story quest, the MSQ, going through that. And at a certain point in it, no spoilers for anybody that's concerned, a character came up to me and said, hey, I hope what you're doing right now isn't interfering with this other thing, in reference to the raid story that's going on right now, the story that's tied to the raids. And I felt so guilty because he was like, hey, this other thing is happening that's really important that you should be dealing with, that I went, oh no, you're right. I'm just having lunch and having chuckles, and this guy's bringing up some good points. I went and finished the raid just because I felt bad that I had been shamed that I wasn't dealing with that situation in a timely fashion. So I've completed the raid story. Those raids, fantastic. I love the raiding in Final Fantasy. It's so good. And now I'm going back and doing the rest of the main story quest to see where that's going to go. It seems like it's going some crazy places. If you are a fan of Final Fantasy IV, you are doing really well in this particular one. Lots of Final Fantasy IV references abound, but it's a good story in its own right.
Are they doing? Any crossover with 16? Do you know?
I believe so. So Yoshi P was a little cagey about it. He said his response when asked if there would be a crossover between 16 and 14 is he said, well, I'd have to talk to the director or the producer of 14 and see if he's willing to work with me on it. But if he's amenable, I guess maybe we could. That being him.
That being
because he's
the guy, right?
So,
yeah.
So I think it will probably happen. I think it's almost guaranteed to happen. But as of right now, nothing has been, I think, fully confirmed yet.
Well, very nice. Final Fantasy 14 still a threat, everybody. Still a thing.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It ended, but it's still so good.
Yeah, it ended, but don't worry, there's more.
It's done, but it's continues, and it's
there'll be more, right? Like that game's a huge moneymaker.
Oh yeah, they're doing
great.
I
mean that's what this is. So one of my favorite things about 14, and it was especially true in this expansion, is that when you play the base expansion, the thing you buy on expansion day, you get a complete story. So, Dragonflight, if you played through the story of Dragonflight, it's not done. You might get to an ending point of the leveling process, but that story is still ongoing and evolving, and it will over the course of the patches. you get a complete story from the ox drop. The patch content usually is additive to that story, additional things, or picking up a thread that's maybe left over loose. In the case of Endwalker, though, it did end with Endwalker, and everything after that has been a new story beginning.
Okay. Well,
it's like phase 4 of MCU.
Yeah, kind of. That's what it reminds me of too. Well done. Awesome. Final Fantasy 14, still a game. Hey, Bo, talk about hardcore. Speaking of MMOs, hardcore WoW. That's all you did is play that.
That's all I did. I've really bailed on all other gaming.
He's just a hardcore WoW player.
I love it.
Well,
although I get it, I don't blame you. You've gotten me. If I didn't have to sub, I would have played it this week. But then I remembered I'd have to give them monthly money. And I said,
your monies.
So Diablo 4. We haven't really talked about it much on the show this week, but that's not. So that Diablo 4 early access starts when we record Core next week.
Yeah, it does.
And I've been meaning to ask you guys if you want to do a Friday show or maybe Wednesday.
No, I actually think that'd be great. Although
it's actually because it's open, doors open at 7 p.m. Eastern. I think.
I think we should do Friday.
What if we did Core, but we all streamed our gameplay at the same time and we partied up? What if we did a Core from Diablo?
Oh my god,
that's an option. That's an option too. Party right from level. Although there'll be story and stuff to listen to. I don't know. Like I've seen Act 1 enough times. I don't need to watch it.
Yeah, we can probably get away with that.
Probably get away with Act 1.
But Scott hasn't played it too much. He might want to.
I played most Act 1. I feel like I would be. My thinking would be the way we should do it is we probably should bump and we should probably do Friday's show because by then we'll have had a bunch of playtime.
And we'll definitely do a short. Sorry, just a heads up, patrons and listeners and all you support. Like, it's Diablo week. I've been waiting like 10 years for this or something like that. Like
11 year. Wait, 2012. So
yeah, like something like
years.
that. Like we weren't waiting for 4 since release, let's say. But it's been a while. Like this is a big deal.
Yeah,
this is
a
big
huge deal.
For
big week.
RPG fans. And the reason I bring that up is like, not only like I've got games on the go that I feel committed to finish. Like I want to get through War Tales. I love that game.
Yeah.
I want to get through Jedi Survivor. I'm really enjoying it. Want to see it to the end. I've bailed at everything. Everspace 2. What is that game? I'm liking that game. I would kind of like to finish that game. How?
Game's great.
Yeah, I don't know when you're gonna do any of that.
Leveling to 60 in World of Warcraft is a long process, and doing it hardcore style. Listen, guys, I lost another character this week. Off stream again. When I'm on stream, I am well behaved. In fact, you might almost be a little bit bored watching me, where I'm being so careful. I don't want to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
I was questing in Darkshore, and everything was going smoothly, and I decided to do. There's a quest there on the Alliance side where you have to like charm the Furl Bogs, I guess, to be like green, to be on your side using this thing. Yeah. Anyways, and then I'm level 16, and the quest I think is like 16 graded. So I'm like, I'm casual. It's pretty good. I'm like whatever. And then a level 19 satyr shows up to fight, like a named monster, and I shouldn't take this fight. Yeah, it's 3 levels above me. I'm gonna miss a lot more. But I was like, well, all the enemies around have gone green and friendly, so I should be able to kill him quickly and do this. Nope. I get him down to about 70%. I'm getting really low. I'm doing the math in my head. I'm like, I can't. Just about the time where I'm like, I can't do this, and this was a mistake to have even started it. 2 respawns come in on either side of me, Furl Bogs, and I was like, oh. I shouldn't have fallen for this trap. This place was cleared out by other players, and they moved on. One of the number one things that'll get you in hardcore, I've found that is very nerve-wracking, is you go to an area, the corpses despawn, you think it's clear, you kind of park and set up shop to start killing some stuff, and like 3 things spawn on you, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't know there were spawn points here. And I died.
Oh.
And I deleted my Night Elf Warrior.
Oh, man.
At level 16, but I reached level 16. That was the highest, but getting back there is a bit time consuming. I'm now on my 3rd warrior, and that warrior is now level 18.
Wow.
Almost going
My
on
goodness, you are
19.
playing a lot of this game.
Yes, leveling is a long process. Like level 19 is not like 2 hours. That's like 2 evenings for me after work. Like, so I'm like, what are the chances I hit 60 before June 1st?
No.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta like, yeah,
No,
It's not
yeah.
going to happen. It's not going to happen.
In classic WoW, maybe retail, I could find ways.
Oh,
to
retail you
power it,
could. Yeah,
but
retail you could
like
do it.
Like,
in
Bo,
class,
I've
I'm
also
like,
been telling myself I'm gonna finish Final Fantasy X before 16 comes out, so that I can feel like that's closed before I move on. It ain't happening.
so as much as I'm enjoying hardcore WoW, my thoughts have gone to listen. You've abandoned the other games you've been playing. Maybe you just need to get back to it. You do a show about new games a lot. It's good to experience new ones. How many weeks are you really going to be playing World of Hardcore WoW? Realistically, especially with Diablo 4 coming out, I'm probably going to forget about WoW in a week's time.
Yeah, because you've done the thing. You've done this amazing thing. But then,
well, I part of me wants to get that 60. Part of me is like, I want at least. I haven't even gotten to do a freaking instance yet.
yeah,
I'm still like trying to grind up the levels so I can get an instance and find some people do it. So it may be more of a one night a week kind of deal. But then I'm like, what if I play for 3 months and lose my character at level 42 and it's been 3 months? You know what I mean? I'm like, this
yeah.
truly is an epic level challenge.
And that's more
I don't
likely
know.
than not, that right there. What you just said is a likely scenario that you'll lose it before then, right? Because that's the point.
One little
It's
mistake
supposed to be
and
hard.
it's gone. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still enjoying it, but I'm having a lot of these like life management thoughts, and and well, there you go.
All right.
And I think it's good to share that with our listenership because, like I said, I got a lot of positive response about playing hardcore WoW. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
People really
it
liked your
is a-
daily about it as well. That was awesome. Oh, and I'll tell you the other thing about Core Daily I've been getting. Lots of compliments, lots of people loving it. They're really happy it's happening. All of them are like, when's John doing one? When's John doing one?
Yeah, John, you got to do
He'll
it. And
have
that's
something
another
will
thing.
come
I got to
around.
sort of sort out my life now where it's like, oh, people liked it. That means I got to make another one.
Yeah, but you don't have to be crazy about it. I'll fill everything in, whenever we
Well, no,
need.
you've been really cool about it. It's something that you wanted to do, and you're just like, if you want to contribute, then please do. But I know our listenership would love to see if you're doing it. Love to see some from us, and
Yeah,
it
for
helps
sure.
our show. And we are earning more money. And I've said repeatedly on my stream, like off the show, I want to do more for our listenership. I want to earn more from my bosses, or earn the respect of our bosses on Patreon, and
Sure.
and make that a good thing. So yeah, I'd like to contribute, and that Scott already does a lot. I like to help out where I can in order to.
Well, that was a
deliver
lovely
Scott.
surprise that day. It actually helped me a lot because I had a dental visit that hurt kind of bad, and I was like, "What am I going to do tonight?" And then you sent the video and went, "Oh, this is what we're doing tomorrow. Okay, I got this."
Yeah,
Let's
I didn't
put
want
this
to
up.
commit to it because I wasn't sure if I'd be able to pull it off. Like, but
I
think
thought
it
you did
worked.
great. I still though love that you went, "Welcome to the Core Minute," and then it went 12,
I'm
12
such an
minutes.
idiot.
Yeah. 12 minutes later, and then you were like, "Okay, this is the end of the Core Minute." And I'm
Right.
like, "Yep."
So we're trying to keep it to like between 5 and 8, right? Like that's the
Yeah,
not
5
a
and
lot
8
of
is the
viewing.
goal. That's the zone. Yeah. Something short and easy, even if it's just a quick
We haven't
rant.
discussed this just for listeners' sake. Like there's been, it's not planned. Or
No.
like
No,
Scott's
it's
like,
funny.
I'm doing a minute, and we're like, great idea. Could we do it? He's like, yeah,
Hell yeah. I just
want.
wanted to do more content, and this seemed like a fun way to do more YouTube stuff, which is always a challenge. And
Yeah, and YouTube likes diversity. I think in the length of video side of things, I think that'll work well for you.
Yeah.
Nice little tidbit though on the Twitch side of things. There's I think probably YouTube has this. You could probably tell me because I don't know, but Twitch has a native YouTube video maker. Sorry, a TikTok video maker. Like where you can, if you take a clip of your stream, it'll there's a tool in there if you go to your dashboard and edit where it'll set 2 camera sources for like your webcam and then your gameplay in a rectangle, and then it'll make a TikTok video for you, and then you just download it.
Oh
off
yeah,
the site.
YouTube does that as well, although I think they gear them directly toward Shorts, which is their competitor to TikTok, but maybe they work
So like
for both.
Twitch it also has an export to Shorts, YouTube Shorts button on Twitch. I mean, it's more for us because you've made the move, but I just thought like, oh, maybe if I have some shorts, we can post it on your channel too. So
Right,
I'm like,
right.
Like I can make them super easy now, so
No, hell yeah. Any of that stuff. It's open to whatever, man. I'm just enjoying making this content. Core shit makes me happy. And we'll just keep making rad stuff. So hopefully everyone at home enjoys it. All right, that is it for what we played. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Dear Martha, a couple other news bits, a quick text from a listener, and some news on the future of mashups for the show. Ooh. But that'll be after this break. We'll be back in about 5. We'll see you all then. Okay, let's go ahead and come back. We've come back. Oh, man, look at us. We've come back to core, and we're going to keep the show rolling here. We're going to dive directly into Dear Martha territory because, well, that's how we do things, and John's brought something. So, John, any setup here for today's Dear Martha?
Nope, just a regular Dear Martha.
Excellent. Here's your intro.
My dearest Martha, today we look at GamePro issue 40 from November of 1992. And as has been the case a lot recently, it was selected mostly because of the cover. Specifically, the character of Miles Tails Prower here, where he more closely resembles a sunburned wolf than the multi-tailed fox we know and love. Robotnik isn't much better, but I just can't stop staring at Tails and wondering where it all went wrong. You might also note, amongst the insane wall of text that makes up the side of this cover, that this is the era of gaming that was really excited about CD-ROMs. Big coverage on the Sega CD and tons of talk about Nintendo's big CD console or peripheral, which would eventually lead to the Sony PlayStation. That's honestly the thing I think was the most fun about this issue, is seeing so many things that came to be, but just slightly different. There is a whole preview dedicated to a game called Dolphin, which will eventually come out as Echo the Dolphin. A lot of talk about the Sega CD, along with some sleek images that would not at all reflect how the Sega CD would look when released here in the US. Another fun detail I saw was this advertisement. Now, everyone lauds Nintendo for the durability of their products. Many a story of a dropped Game Boy that still ran can be mined from the internet, and perhaps no console seems quite as indestructible as the original Game Boy. But, as legendarily hardy as the system may be, that did not prevent the creation and sale of the Game Boy Bodyguard, a product designed to protect and offer a better grip on this massive brick of a system. To quote the pilot Wedge Antilles, look at the size of that thing. Even though I try to only pick one ad a week, and we technically just talked about one, I have to show one more. It just ties everything we talked about together, Martha. From extremely questionable art to silly retro ads, I offer this. It's an ad for Power Punch 2, a punch-out like game that I assume, based on the ad, lets you punch the drawings of edgy elementary school children. That's all for this week. Yours in time, S. Beckett 92.
Oh my gosh, dude. Is this really a game, this thing with the gangly 2 arms? My gosh. What is this?
Why they ran out of time to draw the rest of it, I guess. Like it's
Introducing
no
Power
shoulders,
Punch
no torso,
2.
just a head and like,
Hey,
it's horrifying.
Frank, your son does art, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
want him to design a monster. Do you think he can do it? Well, he's really good at monster heads, hair, and arms.
Yep.
But he cannot draw a torso or legs.
To
I
say
mean,
that
that,
won't be a
I
problem.
assume that hair is ear hair based on where it's coming out of. It's all ear hair.
it's all ear hair. He's more ear hair than hair. That's awesome. What a weird thing. I do remember the gaming world being so obsessed with CD-ROMs that I was convinced that would just be the end all be all format till the end of time. And kind of it is. Like when you still talk about optical drives, that's still the standard. I mean, they're Blu-rays and they're faster and they're all that, but you know, I didn't foresee this day and age where we just downloaded everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't have predicted it.
Pretty wild. I mean, the internet really didn't feel it. It felt like we got as much juice out of it as we could, and whoa, it's not the case at all.
Absolutely. All right, well done as always. Let's jump over to this right here. Some other games we didn't play these games. These are bits of news that we also discovered this week. Big kerfuffle going on in the World of Warcraft Classic servers play space because WoW tokens are now available in Wrath of the Lich King Classic, and players are pissed. Why are they pissed?
Well, I think they just don't like things that corrupt the Classic experience. I only know this because now I'm like super involved in WoW Classic. This might have missed us if I had
The basic premise between the issue with the WoW token, and it is a more complicated issue than most will have you believe. Blizzard would have you believe that this puts an end to bots. People who are against it will have you believe that this corrupts the entire game and is the end of the experience. But basically what it is because as soon as you can invest real money for gold in the game, it therefore creates a system in which you can spend real money to exchange gold for more than just the currency. So in other words, if you want the most prestigious run, you can buy technically with real money, a completely legal sense. Like, let's say I went to the top guild for Wrath of the Lich King Classic, and I said I wanted to clear the max raid content for all the achievements and mounts. And I said, how much gold would I have to give you for you to just take me through and just walk me through it and carry my ass?
Yeah.
And they say, oh, it'll be, 10,000 gold, whatever the number is. Well, I can now go spend real money to get that amount of gold and give to those players to get it. And I've now essentially paid money for in-game content to a degree.
Right.
So that's the negative, is that, the view is that it diminishes achievements. The positive is the argument is, well, there are bots farming gold, selling gold. It's outside of Blizzard's control. It continues to grow. They prey on accounts. They prey on people who purchase these things. Blizzard can't keep up with banning bots. So this is a good way to give a legitimate path to gold and therefore disincentivizes the use of bots. I think there is merit to both arguments to be made. I can especially see in terms of Classic the argument this wasn't available in Classic and shouldn't be now. And that's probably more where my mind lands on it. Like, if you're trying to give someone the experience of this is what Wrath of the Lich King was back in the day, and the WoW token didn't exist, then I don't think the WoW token should still exist. That's kind of where I ultimately land on it. But I think that there is now, I don't think it is as cut and dry as simply saying there's no benefit to it. It's all a detriment. And I think that applies to both sides of the argument.
I don't think
boring as that take is to not be like, no, it's the worst. They're destroying the game, or, like, oh, it's saving it. Like, it's hard to say.
I just don't know if I was playing Classic, I don't know that I would be of the opinion that one of the great things about Classic was the rampant gold selling. Like, that's not a thing you want to. I mean, I guess if you're looking for purity of the era. So who am I to say? I don't understand.
It is a controversial issue because one of the things that happened when the Classic WoW subreddit is they lifted a rule where you can't talk about private servers.
Yeah.
Because they try to stay, I guess, in Blizzard's good graces. So now they're just like, oh, full protest mode. But
well, apparently that was also the act of Ahmad, who was mad about it, and it has now been reinstated. But yes, this did reach a level of anger where a mod on the Warcraft Classic subreddit said, hey, if you guys want to talk about private servers, go ahead and we'll unban you if you got banned for that reason. And then other mods went in and went, no.
So it's a case of Classic WoW, Classic problems, and Classic nerd rage. Basically, someone want a gold token.
Yeah.
All the rules burn them.
It's a mess. And again, I hate to just ride the middle of the fence because there's nothing more boring than someone going, both have valid points. But
I kind of do. No,
I kind of get it. Like, I do get why somebody just spending real money and achieving things sucks in a game that's all about achieving things. At the same time, are rampant gold sellers and issues with that a problem that need to be addressed? Yes. And, the question is always, is this Blizzard's only path? and how effective can they be? It's hard to say. I don't know. I'm not an expert on it. They put out a news post saying we always hear just ban the bots, and it's not that simple. Are you going to take Blizzard's word that it's not that simple? I don't know if you should. Who knows? I'm not in the situation, but I think that's why I ultimately land on the side of if it wasn't available for Classic, it shouldn't, or back in the day, then it shouldn't be available for Classic. To me, that's an easy metric to just go, well, draw the line there.
Yeah.
But that's just my take on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird situation.
It is weird, but I don't know. Part of this feels like real WoW, like the authentic WoW experience.
It's an authentic WoW
It kind of is,
conversation,
yeah.
for sure.
I'm pretty sure we had this conversation when they introduced the WoW token to begin with.
I guarantee we did on the instance. Absolutely, we did.
And at the end of the day, I mean, you might be upset, I think, with Blizzard, but it's the people that they're not committing crimes, let's say, but if you're ruining the experience by farming and turning it into a profession, you're the one ruining it. Like that's,
Yeah.
that's because that's not the intended audience.
Yeah.
I realize it doesn't matter, and it's happening anyway.
It's happening anyway. Exactly. Also, something that happened: 2 new missions have been added to Darktide. That's good news for Darktide players, and it makes me want to check in there, see how things are going. Bo's played it most recently, but I know there's been some patches as well, and maybe it's time to check in on Darktide.
Yeah. I mean, I think long term, Darktide's a game we're going to want to play, but we'll see.
Yeah.
You know what I
really
think?
enjoy that game a lot.
Yeah.
When I play Bolt Gun and they introduce you to those enemies that takes like 2 shots and then you just squish them.
Yeah.
I think that's who you're playing as in Darktide every time. Those losers.
You get stronger. You get stronger. It's especially when you're playing with friends, teammates.
I'm like, I could be this guy that's sawing through 100 of them, or I can be one of them. Those
Or-
shits that see you coming and are like, we're gonna get him.
What if
then you shoot them once and they explode into viscera?
What if the lesson here is that Darktide should use this janky ass looking pixel engine and make it feel that good to shoot shit, and then add in all this progression?
I think it feels great to shoot things in that game. I don't know. I didn't have the same experience, I guess, as you guys. I think the guns are really fun.
I don't know if
game.
Scott's actually taken a side. I don't think Darktide is a fulfilling experience.
I feel like Darktide will be. I'm actually more on both sides of like it will hit its eventual crescendo. It's the kind of game that does that. They did it with Vermintide had all kinds of issues early on. So did Vermintide 2, and they always ironed it out. This feels like maybe that's where we'll be with this thing. So I think it does have a future, but
for me it is 100% an issue with expectation. And if I had gone in with more realistic expectations, maybe I would be more on Bo's side. But you say Vermintide in the 40K universe, I picture being a big badass Marine, doing big badass Marine stuff and being very cool. And then I was some dipshit in a dark industrial complex, which looked like every other level, hitting enemy zombies with a shovel.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, well, this is lame and I don't care about it.
Yeah.
They could have done with maybe giving some better weapons early. Like I don't there are shovels is a weapon in the game, and I hate them too, for sure. Absolutely. Even the knives kind of are a little bland. You do eventually graduate to power hammers and chainswords. So the weapons do get better, but yeah.
It's a fair point. I do think that there's potential there, though. So
the power hammer is really fun because you got to flick it on. You press a button and the lightning comes on, and then when you hit, it bounces off them. So like you'll hit them and they go bing, and they'll bounce. There's good stuff in there, but I think you're right, John, that it does take quite a while to get there, and there's no real payoff. Like it's just doing levels, like Deep Rock Galactic style. Even that probably has a bigger payoff at the end. There's no real payoff.
Oh, when's that Vampire
I started
Survivor
thinking about Deep Rock the other day.
Yeah.
I remember why it was because I sent Scott a bunch of Twitch clips and it included clips from Deep Rock.
Oh, right.
I just was like, like we've talked about it and we've said, boy, what a fun game to play. But then seeing it again, I was just like, why don't we play?
I know. Why aren't we playing Deep Rock
every day, like a day every week?
Well,
I
yeah,
installed it
well,
last time we talked about it.
We should have a weekly meet. We should all be meeting up at a certain time every week in Deep Rock. That should be happening. and Kyle can
Well,
come in there too.
We can
know?
talk about that too, because I think we need to have a weekly, bi-weekly. We need to have some sort of regular gaming week, at least for Baldur's Gate. We're all committed to that. That's going
Hell
to be
yeah.
a regular play.
Hell yeah.
And like again, that's part of my commitment. I talk about this a lot, but to do more things with the show soon. I'm planning on don't tell my employers this, but I am planning on a more full-time commitment, but by the end of this year to what we're doing here. And so that I think for me, my time flexibility has been rough on everyone.
Sure.
That's why we're not doing any D&D. I'm not promising that we will in the case, but just
Right.
Having only weekends and limited time in the evenings makes it very tough, and we want to bring you more core. So I am a big yes, let's have a game night, let's do a thing. I don't know, let's do that.
Agreed. Here's something I don't agree with though. Square Enix is debating whether to drop the number from Final Fantasy games moving forward or not, and I don't think they should. I think they should just keep doing that weird thing till the end of time.
Yeah, don't do it.
Why
don't
are they
do it? I understand there is a point where Roman numerals get extra hard. But
So you guys are happy with the idea of 10 years from now, a Final Fantasy 26 is coming out?
yes, 100%.
I'm okay
Because
with
here's the thing. I do agree that if all games tried this, it would be bad. But I think to have one or two games that are wearing their longevity on their sleeve,
Yeah.
I think they 100% should.
Yeah. This in particular. Also, it's still ironic that it's called Final Fantasy every time and it's never final.
And maybe that actually works better because maybe the phrase Final Fantasy doesn't denote that every game is a sequel.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I want them to continue to put a number after all those games.
I do
think.
too.
Do you think it becomes intimidating after a while? Like when you're people are like, oh, you should watch I don't know, One Piece, and it's and you find out there's 1,400 episodes.
Yeah, but you
of
have to
One Piece, and you're
watch
like,
all
I'm not gonna do
1,400
this.
episodes. You only have to play whichever Final Fantasy you want to play.
That's what I mean. It's that's true, but that has to be explained. I guess who doesn't know that? Who's gaming? But I guess there's somebody out always learning.
Yeah,
that.
you're
I
probably
mean,
right.
there's people that ask. When I was going through all of them, there were people that would ask hey, do these all tie into each other? But I think it is okay for a game series or two to continue to just own their number, and I think Final Fantasy is a great candidate for own that history, own that number, and just do it.
Yeah.
Right, because then it doesn't become clear if iPod Man becomes part of the Final Fantasy mainline canon at that
Yeah.
point.
Oh my gosh, because we would have to consider that. If they drop it, then there's going to be people that are no, Jack is a canon character, and
Right,
we can't
a
have
mainline,
Jack be a canon character. Jack is atrocious in a great way, but
Yeah, the Capcom, I was reading this PC Gamer article that we have linked for this. Capcom, similar with Street Fighter, nobody wants them to give it dumb names. And they point out here what would happen is if they did this, it would be Final Fantasy Legends, Final Fantasy Infinite, Final Fantasy Rising. They have a bunch of examples.
no, I hate it.
I know, I hate
it so
it.
much.
It's awful.
There's something so and it's dumb because I don't think you should necessarily attach this to it, but there's something prestigious about oh, it's a numbered Final Fantasy type.
Yeah, I
you
agree.
know,
You can do your little offshoots. You can do your little tactics games. You can have all that stuff going on separately that has the Final Fantasy name. But with the mainline games, 16, chunk, 17, boom. Maybe if I had one request, it would be when you hit 20, drop the Roman numerals and just put the damn numbers in there. That's what I would do.
Because
So what do we do?
you can't follow it.
I hate it when they're that long. Roman
do
numerals
we do?
are unwieldy when they get large. So
What do we do about Mortal Kombat 2? Is it Mortal Kombat 13 or is it Mortal Kombat 2?
see,
again?
Look, people who drop the number, and I know I said, and I still stand by this, that for Mortal Kombat it was okay because the lore justified it. But there is so much stupidness going on in the names of video games, especially, and this is a me problem. I am so bad with numbers. I cannot remember numbers. If you give me 5 numbers, I will maybe remember all 5, but definitely not in the same order. And so the fact that I have to remember Doom 20 something. I have to remember the goddamn year that it came out. Like, I'm never going to do that. That's too much. You think it's hard for me to remember 1, 2, 3, 4? I can't remember 2008. Like, that's 4 numbers. You haven't improved it. Now I have to remember the name and a whole year. Was it 2016? I don't remember.
For Doom,
I can't keep track of these years and these numbers.
Doom is 2016.
Do you think Doom Eternal should have been Doom 2? Because I don't love Doom Eternal. It's like this is like an era of gaming where it's like Halo Infinite, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy iPod. You know, like
Final Fantasy iPod.
like it's this whole era where we're just using these weird words that mean large spaces instead of just slapping a proper number on it, right?
Should have called it Doom Volume 2.
Yeah, Volume 2.
Okay.
Give it volume.
And then Doom 2 would be Doom Volume 2.
What about Redoom?
2.
Redoom. Oh my lord, don't do that.
Redoom.
That's bad.
Redoom and Redoom 2.
I sort of, I agree. This is the same problem I have with Microsoft choosing to go with 1. That was a mistake. That was really stupid. They should have just done numbers. Xbox 1, 2, 3, 4. What do we be on? We on 4 now. The Xbox 4.
We jumped to 360 really quick.
Yeah, had they done... Well, see, they always would have been a number behind Sony. Maybe this is the reason. Because Sony had a PlayStation 1 out, and then a PS2 was when Xbox entered the race with an Xbox 0. But they've skipped numbers with Windows. They didn't have a Windows 9, went straight to 10. So why don't you just go, we're calling it Xbox 2?
They had EPeen envy.
Or 3.
I mean, gamers and bigger it's an EPeen issue.
Yeah. There's
Big
Big
Peen.
Peen.
Like, it went right to 360.
Yep. Big Peen.
I just don't like the let's pretend the past didn't happen necessarily. Again, Mortal Kombat's getting a little bit of a pass because the lore does say that this is a fresh start reboot now. But I think you could even I think I heard somebody float this idea, which was maybe just call it MK1, and we all know what MK stands for.
Right.
And just that's how you denote it. Like the difference between Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 1 is it's called MK. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but what I do know is Final Fantasy should keep its numbers. And anybody that expects me to remember the damn year that a game came out you are insane.
That's why it's weird. Why I'm weird, because I'm the opposite. That's what I do remember is years, games, and movies and TV shows when they came out. I always remember the years. Don't know why.
I'm in awe of that. I cannot remember.
See, it's like you and your tongue twister bullcrap, because I can't do anything close to your tongue twisters, but I can remember that The Incredibles came out in 2004. Batman Begins came out in 2005. 2016 was the year that No Man's Sky dropped, and Doom 2016. You know, like I know all these stupid years for no reason. It's useless information in my head.
I don't know how people do stuff like that. I can't. Like occasionally I'll have a year that like so many landmark things happen, it sticks in my head. Like I can remember 2013 because I remember joking like, oh, 13's an unlucky number. And then I had a really shitty 2013, like exceptionally so.
Yeah.
So 2013 sticks in my head, but I still will remember like, oh, that came out that shitty year, so that must have been 2013.
Oh, I
like,
see.
I still have to jump through a bunch of hoops to figure out what year anything happened.
You have to have trauma around it to remember it. Yeah. I get that.
Even like COVID, I don't remember when COVID happened. Like I don't like I'm just bad at years and numbers.
Well,
I can't keep track of them.
The hint with that one is
brain
easy
doesn't work that way.
since they call it COVID-19,
oh, that's right. They
they
put it in the name.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
well,
easy.
at least you know the year it's named after, but really it was 2020 and 2021 that were really the hardcore years. So it's still not perfect system. But I get it.
You know what? I think I actually got it in 2019.
Really?
We didn't know about.
Oh
it.
yeah, you were. I remember you were.
You remember
so
that when I was sick for what felt like forever?
Yeah, and really sick. You were super. You were. Yeah, I'm not. I would not be shocked if that wasn't some early strain.
Because I got better, and then people started talking about COVID.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting sick.
Yeah, weird. You were as sick as anyone I've ever known during that. You were very ill, and I was glad not to be near you in physical proximity because you were so sick. All right, then there you have it, everybody. Squeenix, good luck with your naming conventions moving
Keep
forward.
putting numbers on stuff. You should.
Keep doing that. It'll make it easy for everyone.
That's a good question.
We got a quick text here from Jack the Knife. He says this: after Diablo 4 dev. Oh, did Bo disappear? I just noticed Bo's not here.
He's gone.
Did he not?
He can probably still hear us. He's got a long cord. You know?
Did he not pee-poo while we were on the break? Maybe he had to.
Like, you never know. He might have just been like, they're talking about numbers. They'll be at this for a long time.
Yeah, easily could be.
I got time to go get a coffee.
This this person says, after the Diablo 4 dev live stream about the Battle Pass, I've come to my own conclusion that Battle Passes are my favorite way to support a game as a service. Nearly all games that have service content are shifting to this model rather than loot boxes and other bad monetization methods, and I think it's going to be the best in the long run, or for the best. I was never a fan of paying sub fees for WoW just to play the game, and paying $25 for a map pack in the older Call of Duty games was just silly when I look back on it. But I paid it like a dummy because I wanted to play the new Zombies map with my friends. In terms of games as a service, what do you think is the most reasonable way to support the service? Yours in this life and forever, Jack the Knife. I think the answer to that is, like, I actually think battle passes are the right direction. They're going to need some refinement, I think, in the long haul. But I actually agree with him that it's a pretty decent way to support a game you're playing a lot.
Yeah, I agree that, like, I personally, I mean, if you want my answer as to what way to continue to monetize a video game do you prefer, I'm old school and I like expansion packs.
Yeah.
Give me a full breadth of content that feels full and complete, and let me enjoy it, and then enjoy other games for months, and then remind me why I loved you and you existed a year or so later with another big chunk of content. Like, I personally like that. I don't think that model works with our expectations and the way games are made nowadays. I mean, that was from an era where it was not uncommon for a dev team to put out a video game and then the entire dev team to be fired.
Yeah.
Was unfortunately a very common practice back then. And frequently, even when they did an expansion pack, those expansion packs would be made by a different team than the people that made the original, possibly even a different company. So it gets a little murky, but that, as a consumer, again, ignoring all the dev aspects, that was my favorite way to play video games.
Right.
In this new model, if I have to try and take everything into account, I do think battle passes are generally better for the consumer. I think it has a more opt-in feel than some of the other stuff. But I do think that there are such things as good battle passes and bad battle passes.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that and good games that are monetized and bad games that are monetized. I've said it over and over about Diablo, and this is what they tried to convey in that interview, was that if you play Diablo without getting a battle pass and you get to the end of the game, you will have a good idea of whether they kept all that cool shit behind a curtain or not.
Yeah, you'll know.
You'll know.
Yeah.
And I think it should be judged on that. Some games, they just want to get your money and you can feel it. Some games try to give you more and you can tell that. So I think your mileage may vary depending on what the content of the game is.
Yep, I agree. Bo, real quick, do you think battle passes are cool? Still down with it?
Yeah, depending on the game for sure. I'm not really against just paying a straight up sub fee, but I think the market won't bear it. That's why they don't do it. So they're just, it's like in many cases, battle passes are just a sub fee with perks to justify it. I think it's
a sub fee you don't have to remember to renew, right? Or you don't have to remember to cancel if you didn't intend to renew it. That's one nice thing about it.
Yeah, there's that aspect to it as well.
Sure.
Yeah. And I think it's probably more enticing for kids. The kids are, I feel like it's a little more saleable to a parent to be like, oh, I want this cool stuff.
Yeah.
Give me the battle pass versus just, can I have access to World of Warcraft and get nothing out of it except access to the game? And parents are like, what?
Yeah.
It's probably a little element of that to it as well.
Sure.
Yeah, it depends on the use case though. I will say I buy the battle passes still on Marvel Snap.
Oh yeah, do you now?
I'm still playing Snap. Like it's kind of a casual game, but I like getting the cards and you get your money, you get good value, best value, but that's the only amount I spend on the game.
Maybe this Amber Nick will take over for that. All your toilet time will be playing classic games on it. You know, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I'm looking forward to finding out what games I already own in my collection that are available on the Amber Nick.
Right. Because all of them, anything that's on there, you will have a cartridge for. That's how that works. Yeah.
I'm hoping it's complex friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you guys a good example of where I think there is value in it. And I already see Discord on, whether battle passes are good or bad. The question is what is the preferred method if you're going to monetize? So this isn't a discussion about whether or not battle passes should exist. This is if you're going to monetize a video game beyond the amount you drop for it, how is the best way to do it? That's what we're talking about.
Right.
But Fortnite, I actually think has a pretty good and generous battle pass system. I think in the realm of whether or not, is it predatory? Yes, absolutely. In some ways, it's time limited, which if you don't play enough might encourage you to spend money. It's not that it is not predatory, but I think there are certainly, I think it's a good one and a fair one. You earn enough currency to pay for the next one, as long as you don't use that currency for other things. I think there's some really good things about it, but here's a interesting way that you can compare subscription immediately to the perks of a battle pass, which is Fortnite also has a subscription service. They have a monthly Fortnite thing that you can pay them money for, and it gives you items for the game. It gives you a little bit of currency, and whenever there's a new battle pass, it gives you the new battle pass for free. I signed up for this when I was in the middle of my big Fortnite fandom and was playing literally every night because it seemed like a good value. And like most subs, I forgot to turn it off as my time in Fortnite dwindled, although I am still playing it.
Right.
We got to the end of one battle pass, which I played the hell out of. I completely maxed it out. I loved it. I enjoyed my time with it. And we got to the new battle pass. And where my wife, who did not have the subscription, went in and looked at the battle pass and had the opportunity to go, okay, what are they offering this time? Do I want it? Do I see a value? Am I going to want to play? And she was able to evaluate and make a smart decision on the content. I was automatically subbed and gifted the battle pass via the sub. And it turns out I actually didn't like this battle pass very much. And if I hadn't been subbed and hadn't paid that money and hadn't been locked in, I probably wouldn't have bought it because I just was like, I don't really care about these skins. I don't really care about the stuff that's in this. I could probably skip this one. And I ended up getting burned by the sub itself. So I think that's a good way to show where some of the positives in a battle pass are if you are financially responsible enough to gauge it and not just buy sight unseen and go, am I going to get something out of this? Am I realistically going to get through this content? And make a judgment on that. So I think that players have to be savvy for it to work right. I think that for people that like to play games very casually, like Scott, honestly, I don't think battle passes probably work very well for you. Because you have a tendency to bounce around to many, many games and play a lot of games. And I would say the biggest detriment of a battle pass is the required constantly hitting it, maybe make it a daily grind sort of game to hit those numbers to make it worthwhile.
Right.
What do you think on that? Is that fair?
I think that's fair. But I like that in that if I'm really into Overwatch, when I was this Overwatch 2 early time, I did Battle Pass 2 months in a row and was very happy that I did because I really liked what I got out of it. But I was also very glad that as I fell off, I didn't have a thing to go cancel or worry about. I don't need to pay it. And if I want to check in there and play a little bit, I can, but I don't have the Battle Pass right now, or I'm not playing enough to justify it. So I actually really like Battle Passes in that regard because I can take it or leave it kind of deal. And if I'm really into a game, then I'll probably gladly pay whatever their battle pass is. Diablo will be that for a while for me, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
especially when the game's new and shiny and it's going to get your time.
Right. It's such a weird term, and they've all adopted it. Do we know who coined it? Who was the first battle pass? Do we even know?
Did we coin it?
I don't think we did. No. I don't know. Some game.
The
I don't know.
first one I remember seeing was
Feels
Fortnite,
like Fortnite was.
but I don't know for a fact that that's it.
Battle Pass.
What is that? Is there a historian of these things that can?
Probably. Here it is. Battle Pass monetization approach. Blah blah blah. Oh, originated in Dota 2 in 2013.
Dota 2. Wow, look at that.
2013. That's the horrible year.
That's the horrible year.
Yep.
See, I can the origins of Battle Pass. Chalk another one up to 2013.
Yep.
Battle Pass is
Damn.
invented in 2013.
That
Year
year.
continues to just destroy everything.
Yep.
Valve. So that means Valve invented the Battle Pass.
Yeah, they made it up. They own. Well, they don't own it.
Chad, thanks, Valve. Yep.
Thanks, Valve. It's your
Thanks,
damn
Gabe.
fault. We love Steam. We hate Battle Pass. Anyway, thank you for the text about that, Jack the Knife. If you'd like to be like him and send in your message, you can, 801-471-0462, or email us, talktothecore@gmail.com. You can also send voicemails to the self-same phone number I just gave you, the 10 Hams number. That's the one.
Yeah, what is it? 1-800-10-HAMS?
1-800-10-HAMS, or for those whose phones don't have letters on them, 801-471-0462. I would
Go
like to
outside and
thank.
yell 10 hams
Yep.
till we respond.
That's right. I would like to thank some brand new patrons, and I don't know what's going on out there. I don't know why Core's having this kind of growth. I'm not going to complain about it, and we're going to keep trying to make rad stuff for everybody because a whole bunch more people join this. This Bo again with his thing. Jackie.
That's my reaction every time we have the list. I see the list of patrons
yeah.
in the document. I'm like, oh my god!
I
I'm
know.
so happy.
It's so crazy.
but also so surprised, and it's amazing.
I see a couple of returners in here, but they're cool too. We like them. Alex Keeler, Seb, Plastic Lemons. Ew. Danny Danger. That's cool. I like that name. Anthony Mitz, Jacob Clatter, Dave Harp, Spaghetti Syntax. That's my programming language. I write in spaghetti syntax. Adam Gonzalez? Adam something. Adam, you're cool.
Gonsalves.
Thank you. True Froggy, Zach Holder, Luke Johnson. I have a nephew named Luke. I don't think that's him. Darmok and Jalad when the walls fell.
That's Tanagra.
Yeah, it's Tanagra. Death Piglet, Joshua Ile, and Chris B. And, of course, Albert Maher. You guys all are rad supporters, and you've just joined us. And look at this. I'm about to preview a little something. You'll see this visually if you're watching the video. But I send out artwork every month, video game-related artwork now, because we've unlocked that level for people who are signed up at those levels. And it's Mario.
Oh, wow.
Jumping over
Mario.
a thing. Yeah, I got a little Mario.
That turtle is looking right up the pipe.
Yep, he's... I just did this last night. Very proud of it. Happy with it.
Was that inspired
It's
by
a cute
Kyle?
little Mario.
No, I just it does got a little.
Kyle's pipe the
There's a
other
little
day.
bit of Kyle in that one. That Mario. Look at him, little Kyle face. And that looks like John at the bottom. Little John Turtle guy down there. Look at that. But anyway, it'll come in the mail, and you can only get that by signing up. No commercials ever. Pre-show and post-show content every week. Monthly benefits like the art and other stuff. So do check it out. Frogpants.com. Or no.
I think we might have skipped over something, so I just want to check in with you really quickly. Something about Jamie. Did we talk about Jamie?
Oh, I forgot. So, yes, next week we're supposed to have a return mashup from Jamie. He's back in the saddle, everybody. So
I'm so looking forward to
I am
this.
too.
It's
I love
been
the
a real
mashups.
dry spell.
They're very good. And I'm glad he's in a position where he can do it. So that's awesome. Thank you, Jamie, for that. Very excited.
Doing well.
Go over and support us, patreon.com/core show. Do it today. That's going to do it for us. Grandma, we need to know what games we effing played. So could you take care of that for us?
Well, I guess I could if I hadn't already fallen asleep. You took so long talking about all the new video games that came out. So, with all the games they talked about, makes sense you forgot the ones they played. So these are what they are. John and Scott played Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun. That's the one they were really excited about. If you remember a vague sense of excitement, Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with the grandma voice today. It's falling apart a little bit. Scott sold everybody on the Ambernick RG35XX. That's the $80 you spent on Amazon when your significant other comes into the room and goes, "Why the hell did you spend $80? It's on this. Show them that." Bum Simulator, he played that. He played Halls of Torment. That's the Diablo Vampire Survivors-like game. He played Speed Freaks, which is, I got invited to that during the show.
Yeah, nice. You need to play
John continues to do wrestling with WWE 2K23 and playing the Final Fantasy 14. That's the online one. And Bo played Hardcore WoW. That is also online. He's died several times and has to start over each time.
Yeah, that's the way hardcore works.
I only added that to just point out how hardcore works. You understand? He keeps starting over again.
Yeah.
So when he says he played it, it just means he's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Yeah, the definition of insanity is
All right,
what's happening.
Grandma, enough editorializing.
Yeah, enough out of Grandma.
Bedtime now.
Go to bed. That's it for us. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for being here. If you want to watch the show live, we do it on Thursdays at 5 p.m. most of the time. Although next week, with the Diablo release, we may push for Friday. We'll see. We'll let you guys know. So keep us, keep a follow on us and all that stuff. You can watch this video in its entirety after the show as well, or get us on the podcast. However you do it, we thank you. That's going to do it for us. For me, for John, for Bo. We'll see you next time.
If you like what you just heard, there's a very good chance you will like all the shows on the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
We have picked up concerning energy readings in the surrounding system.
Yeah, who says Bolt Gun doesn't have some story? Totally does.